Tawapoya and Dimitri Crew and all them. He the one that do their beat.
Oh, okay.
Miss one or it blew out?
What's up, Mike?
Long, bro.
What's going on, bro? Get up, man. I thought you... Help yourself back there, Mike.
Huh?
Help yourself back there.
All right. Definitely will.
Yeah.
I know you ain't finna say that.
Oh, we good. Yeah. So let's come on, we gonna pray. Yeah.
You seen him rubbing with his belly, that's why you said that.
No.
I meant to cut up before that.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath today, y'all. As we get about our Abba's business. Y'all know how we do it. We've been around long enough. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem, where our help cometh from.
Yes, sir.
Our power cometh from.
Yes, sir. All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And is in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King!
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 24th chapter, it reads,
Yes, sir.
The earth is the Most High,
Yes, sir.
and the fullness thereof,
Yes.
the world, and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Most High? Or who shall stand in his holy place?
Yes, sir.
He that hath clean hands and a pure heart,
Yes, sir.
who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully.
Yes, sir.
He shall receive the blessing from the Most High, and righteousness from the Elohim of his salvation.
Yes.
This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Selah.
Selah!
Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in.
Yes.
Who is the King of glory?
Yes, sir.
The Most High,
Yes.
strong and mighty,
Yes.
the Most High,
Yeah.
mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in.
Yeah.
Who is the King of glory? Yahweh of hosts.
Yeah.
He is the King of glory. Selah.
Selah!
Hallelujah. Selah.
True.
Yes, sir.
All praises to the Most High, y'all.
All praise.
Y'all, we get right to it, right into the lesson. Today's lesson, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. So, y'all, we're going to come at this at a different angle. We're going to come at this as spiritual warfare that you see right before your face, but never, ever is able to discern what you're doing. So you may find yourself thinking you can't watch TV, you can't read a newspaper, but one thing you ain't going to get rid of is that Facebook and that phone issue. So since we have to deal with that, we're going to get some understanding of this tree of good and evil and his devices. Be not ignorant of them. So what ignorance means is without knowledge of a subject. So we have to get knowledge today on the subject of Satan's devices. his wiles because they're readily there for you. They're laid traps. He sets them and lets you know he done set them.
Right.
And watch you walk into them because of disobedience. Yep. So y'all, all of his devices are readily known. He's not coming with anything new. The only thing changed is technology. It just brings it to your fingertips. You don't have to travel to do wickedness.
Right.
He'll bring it right to your fingertips. So y'all, we're going to come at it from that angle today, but we're going to speak on a couple movies that's out there, and they may just present it as, oh, it's just childish fun. But underneath, y'all, we see what is coming to the forefront. I'll name these two movies as we go along. What you got, Sister D?
Daniel, did you see in the Daily Mail the guy that controlled the AI?
Yeah.
And he killed him?
Yes, they say, yeah, the AI is out of control now. It's like a Terminator. And that we'll be speaking on as well. Got that, sis, so we're on the same spirit today. Y'all, so we'll get to that, but y'all know how we start off. We like to address any of our sick and shut in. So just Brother Aliyah, our brother come to St. Louis, come to class time to time. Aliyah is just in a spiritual battle right now. Y'all just need a little prayer and support to strengthen him up. This class will be good on that today as well. Sister Stacy Young, her father is doing much, much better into rehab and moving right along. So she's thanking the St. Louis family as well as the worldwide family for the prayers that her father's coming along wonderfully. Also, Aki Huda out of North Carolina, I think they had to rush his daughter to the hospital yesterday. Anybody heard anything further on that? Okay, want to send shouts out to our Dallas family, Dallas, Texas, by way of Jackson, Mississippi, Sister Thea, Brother Charles, Sister Becky, and our Brother Keith. Also, y'all want to send shouts out and prayers we need for our Brother Vizion the Hebrew. He may be in town. He lost his mother-in-law. Is that correct, Zed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so brother need prayers of comfort right now, him and his family. And also, y'all, Uriah and Hananiah continual. And both of our Jeremiahs here, you know, they're praying for just strength, y'all. That's all they need. They don't need nothing else. Just strength for recovering. And our brother Akda and Sister Yisrael over in the homeland, still praying for you, bruh. Hoping for a speedy recovery or manageable, you know, well-being, so to speak. So, you know how we get down, man. We first ask, we got any questions or concerns before we get to the lesson at hand, too, bye? Okay, and y'all know how we get down. We bring forth the lesson from our Heavenly Father, word given to His only begotten Son, born of a virgin, Yahushua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ, our one and only high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He brings forth the law to every male, female, rich, poor, free bond, Jew, or Gentile. Today's lesson, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. So like once again, y'all, we understand ignorant is not just a slander, but it means without knowledge of a subject. So the Most High say, I'll never leave you comfortless. I'm going to show you what your enemy doing. Just like if you played any sports, you go scout the team out. Mm-hmm. You know what they're going to run. You know what's in their program. They running this option. They running this play, wide out play. So y'all, we're going to get a hold of all of the devil plays today, the ones that continually have us fall. And look, he don't care about you knowing him. He said, I'm going to run that program again.
He'll still get you.
I'm going to run that misdirection on you again.
He got me.
You're going to think I'm 76 Sumner team.
Not the 76.
Boy, they was the misdirection champions.
Running that wishbone
Boy,
on.
look here. Satan will come right back at you. What you gonna do? Shit, I'm like the East Side Flyers. 79 to 85 state champions non-stop. He asked, what y'all gonna do to me? Y'all love my devices. You can't get rid of my devices. But y'all, we have to also understand the Most High gives Satan certain power to test us. And understand what I'm saying. He's not allowing evil, because Satan can only tear down Satan's house. So if he's using putting out what the Most High say, all he's coming after is the disobedience. That's the separation of the wheat and tares. And that's the mission Satan on. So we want to get right to it. If anybody can bring up the word wiles and devices. You know, and that way we can get started. We get our mindset on which way we're going. And then we're going to get into a topic called predictive programming. And y'all, and that's watching, putting TV programming out there, any type of video footage of anything, and predict what's going to happen in the future while entertaining you at the same time. Because what Satan doing is warning his followers of the war that's to come, the spiritual war. So he has to let them know undercover as well, because most of them are school teachers. They're preachers. They're people you see every day running a store. So he has to come covertly with them to let them know this where the war at. But we got to peep his game. Because they getting prepared, y'all. They watching. We just ain't. Turning off the TV ain't going to get it done. Because the TV is you watching motion pictures on the street corners now. Mm-hmm. So, y'all, with that, we get devices or wiles, either one.
I'm going there. I did the wrong thing.
Oh, okay.
Wow, like that coyote. Wow.
Yeah, the wily coyote. Yeah, that's what they talk about. And Satan is just like him, a wolf. Because he definitely, a coyote is out of the wolf family. Sneaky. Get right up on you. Before you know it, he growling, showing teeth, and he right behind you. You froze to death. What we got?
I ain't got there yet.
Okay.
Well, I got devices right here.
What it say, bro?
I should
Said
just look up in the
devices, a
dictionary.
thing made or adapted for a particular purpose.
Uh-huh.
Especially a piece of machinery or electronic equipment.
Uh-huh.
A measuring device.
Okay, so we see devices. They're items that you use.
That was one.
Yeah. You got wild?
Wow. I got that wow.
Go ahead. What it say, bro?
That wow says devious or cunning.
Devious or cunning. Go ahead.
Stratagems.
Yeah.
Employed in manipulating or persuading someone to do what one wants.
See, persuading someone to do something someone don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Like Paul said, when I try to do good, bad at the door. Mm-hmm. I try to go left, but bad have me going right.
Right.
Oh, wretched man that I am. Y'all, and this is an apostle is saying the scrap continues till you dead. Y'all, our adversary can't die. He's marked for an eternal death. So he's on death row, been on death row. What do he care about you? You think he care about you? No. Want to help you out area?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
He want to help you to come with him.
Second definition of device.
Go ahead.
A plan.
A
Method,
what?
A plan. Method or trick. With a particular aim. Writing a public letter is a traditional device for signing dissent.
Yeah.
Signature dissent. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
So just devices, just trickery, y'all. That what he does is puts it right in front of your face, so you'll never be able to say on Judgment Day, I didn't see it coming. See, and one movie you always see, y'all, we're talking about predictive programming, is I'm just going to just highlight some of the things that was in this movie. It was called Teddy or Ted. It was Mark Wahlberg with this little bear that came to life called Ted. And also The Devil Advocate with Robert De Niro. So when you look at these movies again, you'll look at them with a different level of understanding and knowing his wiles, because he puts it right out there. His whole objective is to run a counterfeit program of Satan being the father and to Antichrist being his son that's been resurrected from the dead. He's going to run a mirror operation. But if you fall for it, there's no recovery. So yeah, what we're talking about in that movie Ted, I'm just gonna go over some of the points in there to bring you up to speed on it. It was out, and I want y'all to know how long this ago, 2012. And what it was doing, it was pumping in are bringing forth through a show like that when bestiality will be accepted. So what we got to get here, they explained it, that this teddy bear came to life, okay? It had a girlfriend. And they were in love. This teddy bear and this girl wanted to get married. They were saying the teddy bear was human. Well, the opponents against it said it can't be. So they asked the teddy bear in court, touch your chest. And when he touched his chest, it did what toys do. Hey, my name is Teddy. And they say, see, it don't have a soul. It's not real. But what happened as they go along, the bear seems to gain a conscience like AI. And it cries. They're like, uh-oh, it's crying. And once again, we get in the black lawyer that comes in is Morgan Freeman. He's fighting for teddy bear to get legal rights. Civil rights. But this is the kicker. This is what I want y'all to understand, how Israel is the scapegoat no matter what, when it comes to what we're going to do to give any individual rights that we consider has a conscience enough to show love. And this is all we're talking about. If it shows love, it's got a conscience. It's not love of the Bible. It's just what they consider their love. If you like it and you want to be a partner, we don't care if it's animal or not. They start with the Dred Scott decision. That's in the movie. They bring it up that he wanted to be considered a human. Fighting for that. So that notice how they keep comparing things to Black Lives Movement or Civil Rights Movement. They push in their agenda.
They want to give the bear the rights of the black man.
Absolutely. Because
more rights than the black man.
Absolutely, because what they're technically saying is they were animals because they were property. And if you're saying this teddy bear is property and you gave it rights, then they were property. So they are using this as footage in there. And then they show Kunta Kinte getting whooped. What's your name, boy? Pow, Kunta Kinte. And beat him again, Toby, till he finally says, so you broke who you consider to be an animal that you call property, and now they have civil rights.
But they didn't break the bear.
They didn't break the bear, absolutely. No, bro. So,
they didn't break that bear.
But just what they're using is consistently to bring in the same sex, and this bear is being called a person. It ain't got to be called human. It's just if you call it a person because it has a consciousness. See, that's how we have to watch TV, y'all, for what's called fact-finding missions. Because it's a war going on behind the scenes, like if y'all ever hear that youngster Do It For The Nation. Behind the scenes. If y'all really understand what he's saying in that track, y'all understand it perfectly. But when you watch it again, and then when you watch The Devil's Advocate, you gonna see some things you never thought of after today's class because you watch TV with a different set of eyes. This thing don't mean, it says watch as well as pray. Right. So we have to watch for the signs, we have to watch for the parable of the fig tree, and we have to watch because Satan demons know. When the Messiah cast by, he said, oh, you here before the time to torment us. We watching for the time. You early, ain't you? So y'all, from that perspective, we want to bring forth this, be not ignorant of Satan's devices, because he ain't doing nothing you be saying. He tricked me. He tricked you with the same old tricks since the garden. He don't switch them up. He know what we like. So with those two movies, y'all get a chance to to be able to look them up, and you'll see the devices of Satan, but they've been right there in front of our face the whole time. Property in that Teddy movie, property, the Dred Scott decision, and person or consciousness is what they're saying. See, they're saying AI has a conscience now. It can make decisions like a real person. You know what AI do? It's trained to listen for distress. You arguing in your house, the police coming. AI will call the police. I hear distress in your voices. I hear car windows being broke and skillets flying. I hear shots in the air. Is there trouble in your home? I hear raised levels of voices, y'all. So now with that, they're saying that thing is thinking like a human.
Right.
And we just got in the Daily Mail today. They're running, the NASA is just saying we ready to release our UFO information, which is just top secret spy planes from all of the country. But they're saying they're ready. Y'all, it's something in the air. Don't know what it is, but it's like a sky show is on the verge of showing up here with them releasing the information and saying what AI is capable of doing. Usually one or two things happen. They finna set it in motion or something done went awry. And we can have rogue AIs out there right now, y'all, controlling and doing things that they can't control. So, y'all, but the devil is behind all of this. So, y'all, let's get it started. We're starting 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 through 12. And, y'all, what we're going to do is run our adversary, and we're going to see it's a consistent pattern. He's not coming with anything different other than to get you to go against the gospel of Messiah and run his gospel. See, when it said doctrines of demons, y'all, that's a laid out plan. That's chapters and verses. The devil will have you doing that instead and talking about you're doing the Most High's work. Because you've seen one word in the Bible. No, because you've seen that word don't mean we're supposed to worship that item or that device unless instructed to.
They saying, what's those 3 movies again?
2 movies, that movie Teddy with Mark Wahlberg and The Devil's Advocate. And once you run that and start to look with a different set of eyes, just look how they're covertly warning their people what's to come. And that Teddy was like, look, don't worry about it. You in love with your horse? We'll compare it to the Dred Scott decision. And believe me, you will get to marry your horse. You in love with Fluffy?
Not Fluffy.
Fluffy will get a pillow and be in the Fluffy already be in the bed, don't he? But Fluffy finna get covers and everything. But the devil advocate shows you how he's trying to create his son, his Antichrist son, but it's everything that Leviticus 18 offers. Leviticus 20 is going to be the uncovering of nakedness of different things to bring forth his plan. But the wealth and the decadence that draws that lust of you in to want to be at that mansion party. That's what you're going to see out there. Y'all going to see what Jamie Foxx and all of them say go on in the mansion parties. They ain't worried about you worrying about what's whispered. They're going to show it in this movie because they know you ain't going to resist. We know we're going to get the lustful. That's why we showing it. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 through 12. And we just going to run our adversary to know who we dealing with and how he's been allowed to test us. We're going to run 2 individuals, supernatural and man like ourselves, 2 examples of those who survived the test. And we're going to run 2 who failed the test. And y'all, it's simple as that, y'all. We got to be on and take the lessons from those who survived the test because the test coming. Ain't nothing we can do about it.
No.
It's a test to pass through to life. Ain't no hookups on these tests.
We're going to be reading in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2. Start the reading in verse 10.
Yes, sir.
To whom ye forgive anything, I forgive also. For if I forgave anything, to whom I forgave it, for your sakes forgave I it in the persons of Hamashiach.
In the persons of who?
Hamashiach.
So, y'all, this is why we have to know when we're forgiving, it has to be the Christ. You have to go through him because he washes the blood, the bad blood away. So forgiveness, y'all, is based along these lines. Ain't no Messiah, ain't nobody being forgiven.
Right.
You know, that's just hanging on you. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Lest Satan should get an advantage of us.
What should he get?
An advantage of us.
So only way he get the advantage is to know you and you give him the instructions of what you supposed to be doing. You tip his hand.
Right.
That's how he get an advantage. 2 Corinthians chapter 2.
Verse 11.
So, y'all, he'll get at us with our own devices, so to speak. Go ahead.
You there, sis? All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
See, it's saying we have knowledge of his tricks. Because they're the same old tricks, y'all. It's just either you get wore out and tired and just say, if you can't beat them, might as well join him. Well, you will be joining them if you take that mindset in a lake of fire, and you get to play with them through eternity. Or you really want to do that? Let's get some more.
Verse
that
12.
It? Okay.
Furthermore, when I came to Troas to preach of Mashiach's gospel, and the door was opened unto me of the Most High, I had no rest in my spirit, because I found not Titus my brother. But taking my leave of them, I went from thence into Macedonia.
So he's saying, look, it's probably my brother wasn't here, but I got to finish the gospel. I got to keep going. Those pitfalls, nothing can stop you from spreading forth this gospel once you have it. That don't mean just hollering everywhere you see, but when the opportunity comes up for the gospel to be spread, you must do it.
There you go.
You have to do it. It don't mean just yelling it out anywhere, go in Walmart and grab a bullhorn off the shelf and say, I'll pay for it later when I get through hollering. No, you can't do it like that.
Right.
This gospel, y'all, this is top shelf. You don't go nowhere top shelf and just you speak about top shelf on the rooftop, but it must be administered righteously. Revelation chapter 12, because this is the cause of why this individual is so angry. Revelation 12, we hit a little bit of that, the first few verses, Ephesians 6 and 11, John 8:44. We're going to hit some quick and then we're going to get right into the survival test.
Chapter
12, verse 1. Yes, sir.
All right, family. We're going to be reading in the book of Revelation.
I tell you what, bring it just down to about, I tell you what, no, you're going 1 through 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12. I'm going to start the reading in verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
A what?
A great red dragon.
So, y'all, we ain't dealing with no poop butt. Y'all, this is a champion of spiritual attacks. He's a great what?
Red dragon. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Y'all, and we're talking about the devouring. And see, snakes are not bad in its essence because they were created, and it said in the morning and the evening it was good. So we understand they have a purpose on this. But what the Most High wants you to do is just to get in your mind what your adversary is like. You may step in an area and you get bit, not knowing he's there because he's so quiet, he could blend in and they'll just lash out and thrash. Not only this, but it has no arms and legs and it can beat you running. That's something you truly have to think about. How does something move at a speed like that with no arms and legs? It can rise up, and with no arms and legs, it can devour you whole. This is what I want y'all to understand of how Satan and what he comes to devour you whole. I'm not breaking off an arm. I'm not breaking off a leg. But when you see a boa constrictor unlock his jaw and swallow a full-size male deer, horns and all, devour it whole. Now, it's got legs, 4 legs at least, and horns.
Right.
And Mr. No Shoulders overpowers it.
No shoulders.
Boy. And see, it wants you to look at it from that perspective of something you would think has no advantage, has all of the advantages. Especially if it kept you tripping. Lock your arms like this and squeeze you tight and then swallow you head first.
Just like in Anaconda.
Just like in that movie Anaconda.
Ain't nothing you can do.
Ain't nothing you can do with something like that. They cut humans out of boa constrictors every day. How does they get on you? And this is what it wants you to have a mindset of. Something that can devour you completely. He don't give you a chance to get one arm out or a foot to get away. He devours you whole. I need all of you with me. It's a mirror image. He's masquerading like the Messiah. The Messiah said, you must have all of me in you. This is what Satan does with that mindset. And it's only relating to a serpent because of its attack and how it attacks. Y'all understand what I'm saying? No legs, no arms, and will outrun most of us in here right now. Because you know what? We're going to be trampling each other. That's the one reason you're going to get 2 or 3 of us.
Right.
When they cut you out of that snake and see footprints on the back of your shirt, and be like, this how he got caught. Yeah. Look like a size 9. Did Daniel get away? Yeah,
Go ahead on the temple.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Let's get it, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Uh-huh.
And her child was caught up unto Yah, and to his throne.
So to get your mind out of this, ain't talking about Israel it begins with Israel, but it's talking about the woman still delivering the deliverer, the intercessor, because it was caught up to the Most High. We ain't been caught up to the Most High. Right. You read that in Daniel 9th chapter, Daniel 7th chapter, he was caught up. Psalms 110th chapter, so that's who it's talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of Yah, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Right.
And there was war in heaven.
What was in heaven?
War in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels.
So see, it's not a serpent per se, it's just given that title because this title is fighting with an archangel. In his most wicked state as the dragon though still. So y'all, if he will attack spiritually at the throne, what do he care about us down here? He cares nothing about us down here. He took it on up high.
But it says the dragon fought and his angels.
And so his angels. So see what I'm saying? His host. That third that his tail drew of the stars. 1/3 of them, boy, they went to work. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
And prevailed not.
And did what?
Prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. One more.
Yeah, that one verse, that last verse. Now,
verse 9.
Yeah.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent.
That old what?
That old serpent called the devil and Satan.
See, so he has many titles, y'all. So it's not a physical dragon. It never was a physical snake. It's just compared to it. It's compared to other things that you would consider the sea snake, so to speak. A dragon. Fire-breathing dragon. Leviathan. Go ahead.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
What does he do?
Deceiveth the whole world.
Deceiveth the whole world, y'all. This is who you up against. If he conned 1/3 of the angels in the heaven, where pure supernatural was going on, what do you think about us down here, us mere human beings?
And that's like that person said, we giving the devil too much power, but the devil's got power.
The devil's got power. See, this what the devil had power in the heavens. When you con 1/3 of the angels, who gave him that power?
Right.
We're not giving him anything that he ain't already had.
And that's the thing about it, man. When you got
and it's called free will
to con 1/3 of the angels who already made it to angelic state.
Right. Born in that state. You must be powerful.
Yeah.
That's why I call that great red dragon, but it's a lowercase g. It's not letting you know he's great as the Father because he don't want you to be as great as. Well, you said he was as tough as you. No, I ain't never said that. It say he was tough in his own state.
Right.
Go ahead.
which deceiveth the whole world.
Uh-huh.
He was cast out into the earth.
Uh-huh.
And his angels were cast out with him.
So get out of here. Don't come back. So he's angry, y'all. He's mad at the creation of the Most High, the second creation, so to speak, because they were created before us. And he's angry, y'all. And he's on death row. And this is why when people on death row, they have to keep them on death row. They can't let them into the public. If I ain't got nothing to lose, what I care about killing everybody sitting at this table over here?
Right.
What they gonna do? How they gonna punish me worse? Lock me up for 24 hours a day? Ephesians, and I'll tell you what, we'll bring Ephesians down on the survival test. John 8:44.
John?
Yeah. And because demons are here on earth, and what we're talking about is when Paul speak of idols are nothing, because you technically have to give them power, but demons and devils are real. And they do what's called bodily possession. They will get in an individual and control his mind and his thought process. And he'll be the driver. He'll be the driver of that individual. And this individual is being called the devil, which he truly is. It's that individual. It's just who's driving that individual. It's demon-led. It's like you tell an individual, I can tell you're a God-fearing person. This is a demon-driven individual. Once these demons, those third that was kicked out, and they gain possession of it, but it's all based on disobedience. It's the only way they can become the driver. Now, they don't play fair with children, but the door has been open for them to attack children. Some kind of way. However he gets in there, we have to be extra careful, y'all, because he's going to always make it seem pleasant to worship the devil. See, your God put laws on y'all. See, he whoops you. He do all this stuff. He make you sacrifice. You buy 10 apples, he get the best one. See, they make it sound so terrible. Like our God, the worst person on planet Earth.
Right.
You know. Like how we felt when your parents used to make you clean up and do this before you can go outside.
Make me sick.
Make me sick. No, see, that was making you well.
Right, exactly.
Outside was going to make you sick. Shabbat shalom, Jeremiah. How you doing, hey, bro? John 8:44.
I'm started 42.
Okay.
John chapter 8, verse 42.
42.
Yeah, we're going to back it up just one verse. Yes, sir. That's good.
John chapter 8, verse 42.
Uh-huh.
Yahweh said unto them, if Yah were your father, ye would love me.
Uh-huh.
For I proceed forth and came from Yah. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
See, so now you can understand Revelation 12. Mm-hmm. What was going on, the war in heaven, the one with child. So he's explaining, look, what you going to read about me in Revelations is true. There's the prophecy. I came forth from him. Who you think that prophecy talking about? Go ahead.
Why do ye not understand my speech?
Uh-huh.
Even because ye cannot hear my word.
Right.
Ye are of your father the devil.
Uh-huh.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
See, the lust of your father you will do, the strong cravings. And this is why it's called doctrines of devils and demons. It's a laid out plan. You just don't stumble into devil worship.
Right.
You just can't put on a pair of Nikes because that swoop means the sports god and you say you worshiping the devil. Right. Get out of here. That's like having a coin in your pocket with Caesar face on it. Is that worshiping the devil? Tell you what, throw all them devils on the table right now. Yeah. Right now. Kick them up here.
Yeah.
So y'all, we have to understand devil worship is just because he's imitating. He has to have a set of rules so you can teach an individual his set of rules. Mm-hmm. See, and then our law becomes a strange thing. We don't even recognize it anymore. It's why you'll have a doctrine called Pentecostal, and they don't do the Feast of Pentecost. It's a whole nother doctrine. It just takes the name and creates a whole new doctrine of rules, sets, and regulations that's taught to another individual. It's taught. You don't teach happenstance. You understand what I'm saying? If something just happened, how do you just teach that? You know, you just like, well, just fall out the car door and get up at 55 miles an hour. You can't teach that.
You ain't gonna do that.
You ain't gonna do that, right? If somebody do it, how did that? Man, it's happenstance. I didn't even scratch my knee up. You want to try it?
You gonna scratch something?
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 44 again.
Yeah.
Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
How long has he been killing?
From the beginning. And abode not in the truth.
See, he's been a murderer from the beginning and never abode in the truth. See, the truth ain't in him. And when it said abode, it's not a comfort place. When you abode, it's somewhere where you stay and you lay. He's never abode in the truth. So what I'm talking about is when he fell, he got a death penalty. There's nothing we can do for Satan. Ain't no need in trying to help him out. Ain't no need listen to Mick Jagger's sympathy for the devil. You cannot have nothing for him. He's a through piece. If you do show any weakness, Mr. No-Shoulder's going to devour you. You let him get an inch, he going to take a mile of you. And been to swallow you whole. Only thing he'll be kicking is your feet as he gulped them down. Let's get some more.
Because there is no truth in him.
What is there in him?
No truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not.
See, and this is what he had to tell Israel about the devil. Y'all at me because I'm telling y'all who y'all worshiping is, he's crazy. Y'all gonna be crazy like him. Y'all don't think that's the truth of the matter? He was a liar from the beginning. And he was a murderer. And y'all, conspiracy to commit murder. Pulling in a third that got them the death penalty. That's murder. They were put to eternal death. He caused the murder of those individuals, those other angels that fell with him. What you got back there, Thomas?
Similar to he that travel across many seas to make a child 7 times the child of hell as himself.
That's what he does. Because to try to explain a lie away is going to make you travel all over the world. And you're going to come right back to point one and saying, you know, I went all around the world to come right back here, just like we wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. Just couldn't accept the truth. I would say, I'm going to let y'all wander around till you come back to your senses. And that's what we usually say, I had to come back to my senses. What you got over there, Jeremiah?
In chapter 44, down there, say, when he's speaking a lie, he's speaking
of his own?
Yeah, his own. For he is a liar and the father of lies.
Yeah.
And it always say, to have truth is a whole lie.
It's a whole lie. And the key word there said he's the father of it. So I want y'all to understand, he's not trying to be the Messiah. Satan wants to be the father. So he has a whole nother doctrine, and he's the author of it. He's the so-called high priest that gives his order to his antichrist and their offspring. He's mirroring the same thing he wanted in heaven. He's trying to get that accomplished on earth. And he's doing an excellent job at it because he gives out gifts. Let's get some more.
Verse 46.
Yeah.
Which of you convinces me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? He that is of Yahweh heareth Yahweh's word.
Here's who words?
Yahweh's word. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Yahweh.
Now let's see who he was talking to, y'all, because this is very important. Go ahead.
Then answered the Jews and said unto him, Say we not well that thou art a Samaritan and hast a devil? Yahweh shall answer, I have not a devil, but I honor my Father, and ye do dishonor me. and I seek not mine own glory. There is one that seeketh and judgeth. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keepeth my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead.
What they saying?
Abraham is dead. And the prophets, and thou sayest, if a man keepeth my saying, he shall never taste death.
And that's because they were fully in the flesh, which Satan has control of. Satan does not have control of your soul. You have to give it to him. And he still don't own it at that point. He just gets to control your conscience. And y'all, that's what your soul is, your thought process. This is this whole thing with AI. It's going to have its own thought process. They're bringing things now, and this is what I wanted to show you. I'm telling you where the level of this AI is. My son sent me, he said, you know they got this app on AI that what you can do, what it does is it mimics individual voices.
Is that
And you,
GPT?
whatever it is.
Yeah, that's it.
But like a person, what he did, he said, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, Dad. He said, he just picked Jay-Z and his voice, but he said, I'm from St. Louis. So instead of Jay-Z rapping about New York, this AI raps about St. Louis in his voice. Like, here you go, bro. Run this for me, if you will. Just put that right in front. Oh, okay. You all right? Okay.
You got him excited,
Tied
man.
up, boy, I did, didn't it? Do you want to put it there?
You can run that fast if you wanted to.
Yeah, just run that and just run a few bars of it. We'll tell you when to click it off. But this is what I want to tell you. This is where it's at. Now think about them doing your voice and authorizing something.
Right.
Go ahead.
Sure sounds just like it.
That's it. You can run it there. But y'all, this is what they're doing. I want y'all to understand what this could do if somebody called your grandmother with your voice. They didn't mimic it.
Man.
And they doing it already tomorrow. They got me locked up. I'm in jail. If I don't pay mine, they gonna kill me. Somebody coming to the door to get it. You hear me, Big Mama? I hear you, baby. They got me. And it's an AI voice, y'all. Terminator the same way. The only way when he asked, how's Fluffy doing? Fluffy's fine. He like, that's a Terminator cause the dog ain't named Fluffy. The dog named King. So that's how they knew, but it was in the voice, y'all. Look, Hollywood is the forerunner of the future. We got to quit looking at it like they're just switching it so you play it from Satan's way and join his army. Don't you want to be a Terminator? Don't you want to ride on my team? We can't be destroyed. We can't be stopped. You had some over there, sis?
One of the documentaries that Jacob showed on Walk on the Dark Side, the guy was saying that this chat GPT will be able to rewrite the Bible.
See, y'all, and that's why we have to have it up here. See, law's going to stand supreme.
Yeah.
They can't, if they rewrite, it's going to have to come out rewrote. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But laws are exactly, but you know what they never will rewrite? They're not going to rewrite the laws so we break them, because that lets us into the kingdom. He's an adversary. He must be able to accuse you of chasing his doctrine. Now, he'll bring out his AI version of the Bible, and it'll switch things up. LGBTQRS, LMNOP, they got one. They call it the Queen James Version. So y'all, it's coming. Iniquity already doth work. It's on the way, y'all. Something is in the air right now. There's too much going on with what they're releasing. They're preparing us for some form of sky show. Something is about to break loose, y'all. It's too much, and then they saying AI, we done lost control of it. What you got back there, Thomas?
They on the internet and on the news. They scared. They terrified.
Yeah,
They
big.
say we need to slow down. With artificial intelligence, it's gonna take us over. It's gonna overrun us.
You can't slow down. The genie's already out the bottle. How you gonna put it back in?
Going, baby.
Thinking for itself.
Where you at, Zeb,
Going,
on
baby.
that?
53.
53? Okay. So, y'all, the only reason they said, we're going to read that out, Zeb. Going to read that out because something very important in here. And see who he was talking to? This is the war, and she had 12 stars. So, yeah, Revelation is talking about the 12 tribes, but you see who Satan is attacking, and the Messiah is trying to straighten out Israel. These are our rogue Israelites. These are the Pharisees and the Sadducees that Christ was warring with. Israel. Those are the 12 tribes. That's what he say. He's coming to make war with them. And Messiah is trying to tell them, look, y'all, he's after us. And y'all playing this game. Y'all on this team where Abraham is our father. You ain't never heard him say that. He ain't never said we ain't going to die. He like, boy, he got y'all devoured. He got y'all acting just like he was. Go ahead. What else it say, Zed?
Verse 53.
Yeah.
Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which
You
is
asking
dead,
the Messiah that? Go ahead.
and the prophets are dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Yahweh shall answer, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say that he is your God. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you.
I should be a what?
A liar like unto you. But I know him and keep his saying.
See, the key words is and keep his saying. It's one thing to know him, but to keep his sayings is a whole nother thing. Go ahead, Zed.
Your father Abraham rejoices to see my day. And he saw it and was glad. And said the Jews unto him.
Then read that again.
Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham?
See, because they're so wrapped up in the flesh, and that's what Satan must have you wrapped up in your flesh. Because it's full of wants. It's going to be because it's dying, so it wants to try to live. Your soul is always alive. But he can't touch that. You have to relinquish control to him. He was warned never to go after your consciousness. You have to let him go. And the main thing, how he get access, is when you be disobedient. He say, okay, disobedient, give me the keys. Shalom, Ma. Shalom, baby girl. Give me the keys. And you give him the keys, and then he start driving. Put on his driver's gloves, and you talking about where you going? What exit you finna take? The exit to hell.
They call possession.
Huh? That's what we're calling possession, y'all. Full possession, y'all. And that's what Satan come to do, because once he get a hold of your consciousness and you freely give it away, because this is what happened. Your soul cannot be full of guile. And guile means trickery or deceit. If that happens to your consciousness and that's what you start thinking, then you are a child of the devil. Because that's all you think about is how to devour. And you do it smoothly. You understand what I'm saying? Like these Pharisees he's talking about right here. Go ahead, Zed.
Verse 58.
Yeah.
Yahweh said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
And see, he's trying to tell them way before Abraham was born. I told Moses this in the burning bush. See, so, and they looking at him like he got to be crazy because they're not looking in the spirit realm. Satan got them so locked up in their flesh, they don't know what this is talking about. And he's trying to tell them that was me ate with him. Who you think that was in Genesis 18th chapter? Who do you think that was? And they saying you ain't but 50 years old, so they know what he's talking about. We only talking about the same Abraham. Look, 14 generations from Abraham to David. 14 generations from David to Messiah. They understand there's 28 different generations from you, and you telling us you know Abraham. He said, man, I was an eon before Abraham was ever thought of. Abraham came on this side of the flood. I'm way before Adam got going. And you're talking about a man born after the flood. I'm way before Adam. They couldn't even think about that. It wasn't comprehended because they was in the flesh. Go ahead. What else to say?
Then took they up stones to cast at him. But Yahushua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by.
Now look, where would he leave out of? Where was he at? He was in the temple.
In the temple.
Look, handling it, and this is why I'm saying it's doctrines of demons. They're going to teach it in synagogue type houses. So it won't be nothing like you have to, like Freemasonry is taught in a facility. And it's got rules and regulations. And when you go through, okay, chapter 1, we finna go through blindfolded. Chapter 2, tie this around his leg. Chapter 3, we going to do this. And they have chapters and verses, and they're inside. Y'all have to understand this is a learned practice behavior with chapters and verses of how to worship the devil. You don't fall into worshiping the devil. It's not happenstance. He don't want half a soldiers. Did you finish that, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all just wanted to hit that to one more identifying of our adversary, how he can lock down. And it's going to be enemies or the foes of your own household. You see this war right with Israel, against Israel right there? But this the Messiah saying, he said, y'all chasing flesh doctrine.
Right.
How y'all coming at me with this? I know Abraham. I'm talking conscious and spiritual. And they can't click on and get it in their mind. And y'all, but this AI going to bring some things to mind. Because once they run this sky show, we're going to be at a whole nother level, y'all, of seeing what's going to happen. If you think Pharaoh magicians was clowning, because they were able to bring forth frogs, lice, and flies. Them idiots just didn't know they was doubling it up on Egypt.
Right.
They trying to copy off of Moses. That just means 2 sets of flies in Egypt now.
Well, you think Chris Angel or something?
Boy, look here. He'd be like just learning a card trick.
And so our people, they can't comprehend that. And we tell them that we reading out the script. And even especially when the Christian, they can't see it. It's in the state looking at it, they can't see it.
Can't see it because they're not looking
all.
at it. You have to understand, they've already put on blinders.
Yes.
The law has been nailed to the cross. Once that blinder come on, you can't comprehend anything because there's no rules or regulations. So you're trying to find Satan's way in the Bible that has been taught to you like that, where there's no rules, and they keep stumbling over it. Oh, damn, there's a rule right there. Why that rule in there? And that's what happened with Hebrew Christianity that say the New Testament is tampered with. Modern day Christianity say we don't trust the Old Testament. It's done away with. That's a mean old God. So you got 2 groups believing half of the Bible all the time. And when you believe half like that, you're going to stumble and fall because Christ is the volume of the book. He's the law from Genesis to Revelation. And if that ain't understood, it's going to be problems. The devil going to then present his doctrine, which gives his rules, and we'll try to mix them together. Trunk or treat. How you gonna do trick or treat and change the name to trunk and then you give out the candy? Who day still is it orchestrating this?
They done turned the church into a haunted house.
Boy, look here, a church into a haunted house, right? What you got here?
Saying the law doesn't make it like saying you will not surely die.
Right, and that's what we're talking about. The law, you shall you not truly die, because he's understanding at this point it's spiritual. See, Satan knows you're not going to die that day physically. He knows and he understands. And that's what he said, you ain't going to die. So she's thinking flat, oh, okay, I won't die. You know, it ain't that serious. But he like, okay, yeah, gotcha.
But he planting the seed for the cycle.
Just like today we have the doctrines out here, brother, say, we gods. What's up, God? What's up, God? But the script says you're going to die like me. See, they don't never add that other part, do they? Right. But see, they just keep repeating the part that Satan says.
That's it.
You're gods. What you got, sis?
Not to get too far away, but in this verse 59, this was a conversation, him and the assembly standing before them speaking, right?
Right.
How did he hide himself to get through the middle of them and they had stones and did nobody see him or hit him with the stone?
Well, see, you know, just duck out. See, one thing we had to understand, because some people say, well, he must have no power. He had to get off. He took off running. No, prophecy. Right, prophecy must be free, and that's power, like you're saying. slip right past them. But look, when it get chaotic, you slip right past. Look, most troublemakers who start the fight at the party, they usually gone, ain't they? When the squad comes, who started? They like, shit, they left 20 minutes ago. You know, so it's a way you just get through, and he just used their means to get through because he knew he still had to be crucified. He could have stayed there and bust their heads right then, but then prophecy failed. You know, so that's why he just slide through the midst of them. They arguing, they man, who the hell he think he is? While they talking, he just slide on through the midst of them. I ain't got time for this. Let me get on up out of here. Because they picked up stones, you know, that's like somebody grabbed for their pistol. Right. You get to moving, you just get on out of there. See, it wasn't like he just kind of disappeared, but he moved real smooth on it. Like, wake up, where's that? Man, he slipped on up out of here. You know, because once you enrage like that, and it's like that, it's chaotic. Ain't no understanding. You just slip right through that. What you got, Jeremiah, over there?
When you talk about spiritual, I had an incident years ago up on the Academy and Martin Luther King. Park, right up here, right from the park.
Yeah.
And it was a body shop. I came in the front door, the guy came in the back door. Now, I ain't gonna have anything, but I left him in the car. When he seen me, he pulled his thing out.
Yeah.
He said, your name Terry? I said, yeah. He said, don't you remember me from back in 1974?
Uh-oh. Boy, look here. You trying to count backwards.
I say, hold on, look at me. I took my glasses and I looked at him. I said, look at me. And he looked me in my eye. I said, God saved you from sin. Saved you from service.
Yeah.
That dude dropped that thumb.
Yeah.
And walked off. That's the power.
Yes, sir.
We got the power like different. I tell him, when he looked at me and he seen I wasn't the same person.
Right.
Took that thumb down.
Right.
But he had me. He's been popping me.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You had to slip through it. You had to get away out of there, but that's how the Most High say, I will never leave you. That's that Psalm 23. Boy. You know, walking in the valley of the shadow of death. The shadow of death was right there. He like, I got him now. Right. Look, I didn't see him do like this when he got out the car.
Right.
It's still in there.
But
what you got, bro?
Deja vu.
What you got back there, bro?
Oh, back here?
No, you. Yeah, yes.
It was the same corner, but...
Okay, yeah, that was the spot back today. Sister in the chat got a question. She said, when Christ says, I am, is he saying he is God? Many people debate on this, and I just need a good breakdown. Thank you in advance.
Well, I am was said to Moses when he said the children of Israel is like, they ain't going to believe me. You know, so I am is meaning I'm in everything, which he's the gospel, he's the volume of the book. So I am all of the book. So because everything was created for him and by him and the Father. So this is what we have to understand when you understand his title that will be given to him in Isaiah 11. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting Father. So when people think they get that mixed up thinking he's talking about the Heavenly Father, but we see the disciples call Abraham an everlasting father. Your father when you start the beginning of a nation, so to speak. Christ is the start of the church, so to speak, and all those technically before him. So he's an everlasting father because this goes back, way back to Genesis. Let us make man. He's part of the Godhead. So when he says, I am, I'm part of that. You know, but it's not because when you try to break down I am, you ain't getting nothing. He's just telling you, look, just tell them that. Anything just to satisfy what they're crying about. He said, it ain't going to matter no way. It's going to be the signs and wonders that I'm going to do for them. That's going to change their mind. If you told them what my spiritual name going to be in the future, it still wouldn't matter to this people. So just tell them I am and just keep it moving, and you don't have to worry about the title of it because the wonders is going to tell who I am. Go ahead. Where you at, bro?
I got two witnesses.
John
chapter 10, verse 30.
What it say?
I and my Father are one.
That's what we talking about, bro. Right. Yes, sir. Elohim.
The second witness is no matter what power it is, light or dark, there's no power but of God.
Yeah.
He is all in all.
Yeah, they just want to make sure we ain't calling the Son the Father. No, we're not teaching the Trinity. We're teaching Elohim, which is plural. It means multiple Godhead with one chief ruler. And that chief ruler, if you want to know his name, is technically Melchizedek. the king of peace, because Christ is after the order of Melchizedek. So who's above Christ and the Father?
Bingo.
So that's why Melchizedek, Hebrews 7, has no mother, has no father. Christ got a mother. Christ got a father. He's under the order of the one that don't have any, because you can't trace his beginning. Huh? He think they one and the same? Well, it'd be hard for, and look.
It ain't in there.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead, bro. Who got something?
So for anybody out there in the listening audience, the little that you have, the riches that a wise man, a righteous man has, is worth more than the riches of many wicked. So the little knowledge that you have that God has given you, when He wake up somebody next to you, give it to them, because they don't have what you have.
But you know,
if you could comprehend that,
right?
The little that you have is more that they have that are without understanding.
Absolutely.
So
brother.
give it to them. It's your job to gird them up and open their mind.
To speak it to them, but they may not accept it. That's not on you.
But you did your job.
Right. That's all you were ordered to do, and that's just preach the gospel. I tell you what, give me Exodus chapter 3. We're going to run that real quick. We get back on top of hand. 3 and start about 11.
Hey, what was that 2 Corinthians that you started off with before?
2 Corinthians chapter 2, 10 through 12. But I want to just clear this first one up. Give me Exodus 3, start about verse 11. Y'all gonna understand, it's not so much, people focus in on names and titles. These are called holy name rollers. So they see words like I am and they get confused about it. But if you start with the subject matter, you understand what Christ is saying. Like when John was saying, before Abraham was, I am. See, because that wasn't the father that came down and talked with Abraham.
Start at 10.
You gonna start at 10?
Yeah.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 10.
Oh, you said 3.
Yeah.
I'm on
3 and 11 then. Yeah, 3 and 11.
My
Exodus
bad.
chapter 3, verse 11.
I was on a whole nother subject matter. It fitted.
LC, you see what's back there? In them aluminum foils back there, you good? There's some good eating back there.
And then
Yeah.
the scripture tells us we're not supposed to entertain half the stuff that we be answering questions about.
Well,
but it's good that we have the knowledge to answer those and the patience.
You don't answer a fool in his folly.
Right.
But you answer anybody a fool if he's wise in his conceit. And wise in his conceit will make you think God's laws have disappeared. So you then have to answer a fool. And a fool is just somebody that can't come to the understanding of knowledge. They're past ignorant. Let's get some more.
Verse 11?
Yeah.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 11.
Yes, sir.
And Moses said unto Yahweh, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee, when thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, and ye shall serve Yahweh upon this mountain. And Moses said unto Yahweh, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name?
See, we know they're going to say that. Yo, this is the whole thing of the holy name roller. He said they're going to ask me, what's your name? So he's saying they're going to want to know the most holy name. This is Israel. They know what your name is, and we're going to see if he's going to tell them that pure name, that holy name. Go ahead, Zeb.
What shall I say unto them? And Yahweh said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you.
See, he said, don't worry about that. Just say I am. Now, you have people chasing I am, looking, flipping it upside down, turning it from the Greek concordance to the Hebrew concordance. But he's telling him, look, just say this to him. You know, I am. And then if Moses has said, well, ain't no history of I am in Israel. You know, but let's read just a little bit more of that zip down to 17.
Verse 15. And Yahweh said moreover unto Moses, Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, the Lord God of your father, the Yahweh of Abraham, the Yahweh of Isaac, and the Yahweh of Jacob has sent me unto you. This is my name forever.
What'd he say?
This is my name forever.
So we see here that he named the covenant so you would understand what the name was. It's like we ain't got to get in a name battle. We should just say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You should know who that God is because there's a set of covenant rules with those three individuals.
They usually don't want to play no more when you go.
See, you're right. When you say that, see, that eliminate the name contest.
Yeah, they don't want to play no more.
You get out the name contest and say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Do I have to say a name for me to be in this name? I'm talking about the same God that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had a covenant with. Do we need to read the covenants to understand the name? And you know what you ain't going to see in the covenant? No name that you think you can call on. Don't you understand? That's why it's called Hebrew Christianity. It's the same thing as Christianity does. They think if we just say Jesus, and when Jesus, is coming, and nothing else, that's just it.
Did you say cheese it?
Boy, look here, you have to almost look. And so what they learn is just ball your fists up and just act like it's something, electricity flying through you. Gee, like that's it. That's all you have to do in a time of war, in a time of need, is just do like this. No, that looks like you throwing a tantrum. You know what I'm saying? No, and they do the same thing. Yeah, they do the same thing with these holy names. Well, no, if you don't say you don't know it all. That's all you doing is straining.
Sound like you got to use a bathroom.
That's what I'm saying, boy. Some straining because they trying to get you to think they really know something. What you got over there?
That's why they always banging that black image on the side. You know, they got a picture of it.
Always,
that's
bro.
That's a graven image. You did the same thing. You ain't gonna do that.
Same thing. See, and that's what it does. You think a name is gonna put the laws in you? Laws don't need a name. All you say is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The covenant. Once that's said, now we're looking to see if you're playing by the covenant. You've given us a set of rules because these three men played by this one set of rules, didn't they?
Exactly.
Where we at on this? Verse, where you at, Ed? Okay.
Finish at 15.
Okay.
And this is the memorial unto all generations.
So how many generations?
All generations.
Uh-huh.
Go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto the land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and he shall say unto them, the Lord God of the Hebrews has met with us.
See, the Lord God of the Hebrews. See, so that puts it in a particular people. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Starting with Abraham the Hebrew. Isaac the Hebrew. And then Jacob the Israelites. Hebrew Israelites. Make sense, y'all? Yeah. What you got over there, LC?
All the nations he named, them was one of those in Canaan ones.
Yeah, he gonna get to them, yeah. Yeah, the land of milk and honey. Hivites, Jebusites, yeah, they control Canaan.
Well, them was the descendants of the giants.
Yeah.
Well, giants were in there, but they're descendants of Ham.
Okay.
Getting off the ark. Giants just came and visited that land. because they are of another group, but they mix with the same thing. That's why we weren't supposed to get into their type of intercourse. See, they have spiritual intercourse with demons and devils, y'all. That's where this is coming from. AI robot will be a demon. Is Daniel 2:43. They're going to mix iron and miry clay together. They're going to mix technology and human being together.
It ain't gonna cleave together.
It ain't going to cleave, though. It can't cleave. It's going to self-destruct. What you got, bro?
That technology comes from the Father. That's where they got.
Absolutely. That's where they get all of the knowledge of this world. They didn't come to teach righteousness. They came to teach how to make war. That's the first thing the fallen angel did, was taught how to make war. This is how you make a sword to kill another individual. This is how you make a staff to bust somebody's head open past the white meat. It's called a past the white meat staff. So when you see somebody like that, they be serious. They be like, okay, player, you got it. You got it.
Hey, Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir.
You see the iron and miry clay, it's just like people that get transplants now. They have to take medication
For the rest of their life.
for the rest of their life because their body is rejected.
Rejected because it's not part of it.
Right.
It can't mix, so we have to put a medium in there to keep it holding together. Y'all, because it wasn't designed to do that. Would it make you live longer in some instances? Yeah, but there's a side effect with it. You know, because it's not an original part.
Right.
It's like putting we talk about original parts. Do you get it from O'Reilly or AutoZone?
Oh, yeah.
Look here, you keep getting it from an AutoZone, they say you're not getting an original part, don't they? And you have to crawl back up under there again, don't you? Boy, look here.
They call money bound.
That's why they give you a lifetime warranty. They know you're going to be back for another part. We'll see if we can take it off a Toyota and it fit on your Ford. We'll try to see if that'll work for you this time.
You're going to be coming back for a lifetime.
Boy, look, everybody, any shade tree mechanic you know, an AutoZone, one car, 3 starters minimum you're going to keep putting on till you get the right one. So, y'all, we're going to hold there, and we're just going to jump to chapter 4, Zeb, where you were going. And look, Moses still didn't want to go speak to this people, even after hearing just say I am, because this is a stiff-necked people. Y'all, this is a people that want you to prove yourself, and is usually proving yourself by basic or things that won't mean anything anyway, because if you told them who the God was, they still wasn't going to believe it. That's why he said we're going to do it with wonder. Shalom, Margaret. Jeff, start about 4 and 14.
That 4 then?
No, go ahead. Wait, you want to
10.
start about 10? 10, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We're going to Exodus chapter 4, verse 10.
Yeah, and this is just to let more be known of why these holy name rollers don't let them get you caught up. Y'all, all of this coming down to obedience. All he told him was do, just say this name and don't worry about the rest of it. I'll take care of the rest of you. You ain't got to explain no name to them because they ain't going to listen to you anyway. What they will listen to is when we see trouble coming, then black people get in line. You could hear it thundering. They'll be out there playing dominoes on the back, slamming big six, and and then boom, 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 boom. And you still won't get in, and people getting in, you like, Most High say, oh, y'all don't believe I'm at work right now. And then finally he said, boom, 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 and it sounded like the table rock. Uh-oh, let's get it, let's pack it up. You get going. So this is what he's saying. I'm going to get their attention.
Yes.
I'm going to get them to pack it up. You ain't got to worry about it. Just do what I tell you. Just get their attention briefly. I'm going to do the rest. Let's get some more. What that says there?
Exodus chapter 4, verse 10.
Yeah.
And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent.
I'm not what?
Eloquent. Neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant. But I am slow of speech and of slow tongue.
So how this happened to Moses, when you get into the book of Jasher, I believe right around the 70, 71 chapter, when Moses, maybe 68 chapter, when Moses was 3 years old, he took the crown off of Pharaoh's head. Because he was raised as Pharaoh's daughter's son. And he took the crown. Well, all his adversaries said, all of his soothsayers said, that's a bad omen. He taking the crown, he's going to take the throne from you. And Pharaoh's daughter tried to jump in. Oh, he's just a child. He's like, no, this child ain't innocent. This a Hebrew baby. and they've been known to be slick. Jacob slicked Esau out of his birthright. They start running our jacket like when we do when our children get killed by the police and we show a picture of them with their graduation hat on. That's the only one we'll show, my baby, you know, and then they run our history. Well, here's his jacket. Just like the boy got choked out on the L train up there in New York. They start running his jacket. Well, he punched the old lady in the mouth on the L train. So this means he should be put to death in a chokehold on the train. So what they do is they run our jacket immediately, and they was running our history. They said, this boy, you may think he 3 years old, but this a Hebrew baby. They walk at 6 months. They black don't crack. Right now in the Daily Mail, they got a Hebrew nun on there that died in 1929 or something. They dug her up looking to see bones, and she full and tight and didn't have no embalming fluid. I'm talking about black don't crack in the grave.
Glad you didn't say she got up out of there.
No, she didn't get up out of there. What you got back there, Tom?
She was fully preserved.
Fully preserved with no embalming fluid.
But they go back and run our history and show, just like they keep flashing on the little boy with the automatic weapon downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep showing it. This is going to help them get rid of that law of open carry unless you have a CCW or something. They're going to bring it back in. If you open carry, you must have the right paperwork, not just a receipt that you bought the gun. So it's going to go through because they keep showing it. Do you want to come downtown and face this rowdy Negroes walking in the middle of the street in business downtown with automatic weapons?
Right, broad day.
Do y'all want this? Yeah. And look, we're going to show them fighting right here, and 3 of them standing right there with weapons. Do you want to be caught up in this, coming from West County to watch the Blues play? What you got, bro?
They created that because you got to be 18, you can buy a long weapon with like them choppers.
Absolutely.
But you got to be 21 to get a handgun. So they created that.
Yeah.
They know this. It's the same picture.
Okay, y'all. Keep on reading, Isaiah. Where you at?
Verse 11. And the Lord said unto him, who has made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf to see, to sing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say.
See, Moses was trying to get out of this because of this stiff-necked people. He like, look, I don't even speak well, but what I was explaining to y'all about when we get into this Jasher, I'm going to find right where Moses, a hot coal was put on his tongue. So they said, well, this is how we're going to know if he's wise or if he's just a child with no understanding. We're gonna put 2 things out. We're going to put a hot coal out. We're going to put this out. Whichever one he grabbed for his hand, we're going to know. If he grabbed for that staff or that piece of gold, this is a wise child. It's like the golden child, so to speak. But if he reached for that coal, we're going to know he's not knowing what he's doing. So the Most High had an angel there and moved Moses' hand to the coal. And when he put it on his tongue, it burned his tongue. So he had the fat tongue a little bit. So that's why Moses stuttered. See, most people don't understand Moses was stutter. Let my, and Aaron just say, my people go. So y'all understand. So that's what he meant when he said, I'm slow of speech. And the Most High said, I got every angle covered. See, if it was just about a name, we wouldn't even be here to this point. If it was just about a name, he's trying to tell him, I ain't gonna even be able to tell him the name. You just don't know this people. This people crazy. I'm talking about cray. Go ahead, read some more, Zed.
And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you all, and will teach you what ye shall do. and he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of God.
See, and so what he's saying is, Aaron gonna speak for you for your mouth, but you're gonna be to him like God. I put you in God's position. You know, you're going to be my intercessor, so you will be like the Messiah be. You speak for me. So at this point, Moses is I am too, at this point. But it's a flesh level, though, with it. Not like the Messiah, because he's not true Elohim. He's been brought into the fold. So at this point, he's I am, because he's saying, look, don't worry about saying nothing. I got your brother with you. He's fluent in Egyptian talk. He's fluent. And this is why Aaron, they jumped on Aaron to build that golden calf when Moses left. Hey, tough talker. Hey, can you understand this? Make us a golden calf or we're going to get with you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of our mouth? Get us a golden calf. When Moses came back, he said, you know this people crazy. They threaten my life. And that's why Moses, Aaron and Miriam got it when they lashed out at Moses. He said, you know I set him up as a representative of me, and y'all gonna talk to him like that. Yeah, y'all prophets and prophetess, but I set him up as the intercessor. Y'all don't leapfrog over him, because I gave y'all power that he's got. Is one of y'all above the rest? I just told y'all how this program go. So when we see but this is what I want to get you. How far are you on that, Zeb? Would just Moses be the speaker? I mean, Aaron to speak for him?
And thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs.
See, and wherewith thou shalt do signs. So he's saying, look, don't worry about no names. What you going to do with my power, that I'm going to give you my power, this is going to make the children of Israel wake up. It's the only thing we understand. It's the only thing understand when Most High starts showing his power. Then we get in line. Lord have mercy. Please don't let the tornado come here. Them flood waters, we will call on him from our soul then. But just saying his name, we don't care nothing about a name. That name will be at the pawn shop. You be trying to sell a ticket, man. Can you go down there and get the name?
Yours ain't real, man. Real.
Yeah. Go get the name of the Lord for me. But this is what I want. Jasher 70th chapter, and y'all understand what I'm talking about Moses with the hot tongue. I mean, coal on his tongue. So y'all, this has to piece together. And y'all understand, but y'all gonna see our jacket run. They do us wrong, y'all, because of our forefathers. This people, y'all, we claim to be, y'all. This is why you got to understand. It's better that you preach the gospel before you tell the nations you Israel. They're going to eventually ask you, because truth is an absolute, it's power. The truth wasn't built around Israel. The truth was way before Israel. The truth was in the heavens, that Satan was found to be a murderer and liar in the heavens. It's way before Israel was even scratched or an itch in Isaac's mind. Way before that. Jasher chapter 7. Get there, yes. 7. And y'all, this is what we're explaining on why Moses stuttered. Because Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house. And is Moses a Hebrew name? Huh? Okay, what type of name is Moses? Egyptian name. Because Pharaoh's daughter name. What does that got to do with the power God gave him? This is why names don't matter, y'all. Names are just titles. He said, I'm going to tell you what my name is in that day, but y'all got to be free of that corruptible flesh before I tell it to y'all. And y'all looking, when y'all get a chance, look in 69 of Jasher, verse 24 on down, it'll tell you the many names that Moses had. Everybody called Moses a different name. His sister called him Jared. All Israel called him Shema. See, we didn't call him Moses. His Hebrew name, we called him was Shema. Moses was his government name. Like we have government name. Kelvin is my government name. I can get a driver's license with that. But Daniel Solomon, I can't do nothing with that legally. I can't go on a boat with it. I can't give it to the police officer when he asks for ID.
You going to jail.
Yeah, look at my phone. Yes.
You going to jail.
Okay. So y'all understand, y'all see Moses had many names by the family, and his Hebrew name was Shema. All Israel called him that. His brother called him Jabbar, his daddy called him this. His mama had a name for him. Like we have many names for our children. Boopy, Doula. Yeah, do dirty, yeah. I think his name is his dad's name, Doula, yeah. But I mean, you just give names like that. People know those names from from the perspective like that. You know, my father called my grandson Moon. I forgot about it, but I just called him Moon the other day to see if he responded to it. He did. Jasher chapter 70. Go ahead. What it say?
The book of Jasher, chapter 70 and verse 1.
And
in the 3rd year from the birth of Moses, Pharaoh was sitting at a banquet, when Alperaneth, the queen, was sitting at his right, and Bathia at his left. And the lad Moses was lying upon her bosom. And Balaam, the son of Beor, with his 2 sons, and all the princes of the kingdom were sitting at table in the king's presence.
This is the same Balaam you read about in Numbers, that was riding on the donkey and the angel and it slammed him into the wall. This is the same Balaam. He was a sorcerer then, and he was a sorcerer in Numbers because we're coming through the wilderness. Same time process. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And the lad stretched forth his hand upon the king's head, and took the crown from the king's head and placed it on his head, on his own head. And when the king and princes saw the work which the boy had done, the king and princes were terrified, and one man to his neighbor expressed astonishment. And the king said unto the princes who were before him at table, What speak you, and what say you, O ye princes, in this matter? And what is to be the judgment against the boy on account of this act?
This is a 3-year-old boy, and they talking about judgment.
Right.
You remove the crown from the king's head. We don't care how old you is. You could be just coming out the womb and kicking and crying, and the doctor to slap you, and you knock the crown off. They'd be like, what beeth of this child?
Right.
Hollering and kicking like that and knock the crown off. This boy up to no good.
My grandson take my hat off every time he with me if I got a hat on.
Do we put it on his head? Yeah, well, look, you got to be careful. What meaneth is if he get your car keys, you know what it means.
You do say my truck is
here. See, they got to be careful, Zed, because he be going down the street. Go ahead, what you got, bro?
Pharaoh was considered a god, though, to them people.
Right, absolutely.
So Moses could do that. It was a big deal.
And that's why when you read when he told Moses, I'm a harden Pharaoh's heart, it didn't make it like he couldn't believe or trust in him. He said, I'm going to make you a God to him. When you read Exodus 7 and 1, I'm going to make you a God to him. That's what hardened his heart. Because if I was saying, that nigga ain't no God, that's a slave. You God, Pharaoh. Yeah, I am. You know, kind of about them frogs. We can make frogs come and bite us in our secret places. We can do that too. You God, yeah, I am, ain't it? And Moses dropped down another one, and dropped down another one to finally drop that death on it of every firstborn. And then he like, okay, you got to be God, I give up. But it wasn't about no name. Pharaoh said, I don't know no name. We ain't got no names in here called Yahweh. In our books ain't nothing in here of your God. Who is this God you talking about? They run their record. We don't see his name, and it won't care nothing about who you talk about. He say, okay, he coming with the power. You'll know his name then. What you got, Tom?
Romans 13, 1 through 4.
Yes, sir.
There it is. Let all souls be subject to the higher power.
That's what it's talking
There's
about.
no power but of God.
That's it. That's it, bro. Read some more of that 7.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And Balaam, the son of Beor, the magician.
The who?
The magician. Answered before the king and princes, and he said, Remember now, O my lord and king, the dream which thou didst dream many days since, and that which thy servant interpreted unto thee. Now therefore, this is a child from the Hebrew children, in whom is the Spirit of Yahweh.
In whom what?
Is the Spirit of Yahweh.
See, all nations know we got it. See, they know it. They like they got the spirit of them. It's the same thing they know about us, but they just hate us so bad. They just like, how could y'all be them people and sink to this level? how can y'all be this people? It just don't make sense for y'all to be on this level. But sing us one of them old songs of Zion.
Right.
You know, that's how we would just do then.
Not like that.
But y'all know what we would do, and they would be so amazed because they're looking at you like a beast. They're looking at that horse is greater than you. Like Levi said, they used to be working in them tobacco fields. They would take the horses under the tree so they can get cooled off, and they had to stand in the sun.
Hell no.
Huh?
True.
Look, mule die, buy another. Nigga die, hire another. You know, bring another, just throw them out there. See, that's what it comes down to. Let's get some more.
And let not my lord the king imagine that this youngster did this thing without knowledge.
Without what?
Without knowledge.
Uh-huh.
For he is a Hebrew.
Uh-huh.
And wisdom and understanding are with him, although he is yet a child. And with wisdom has he done this, and chosen unto himself the kingdom of Egypt.
See, now they trying to prophesy to Pharaoh. You looking at him like he's 3 years old, but this a Hebrew baby. Right. Don't you ever forget that this a Hebrew baby. They locked and loaded with the spirits of God. Now don't you be fooled. Don't you get tricked because your daughter love me. He laying in her bosom. This boy snatched that crown off your head trying to tell you something, Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. Let's read some more.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
For this is the manner of all the Hebrews, to deceive kings and their nobles.
To do what?
Deceive kings and their nobles.
Uh-huh.
To do all these things cunningly,
uh-huh,
in order to make the kings of the earth and their men tremble.
Oh.
Surely thou knowest that Abraham their father acted thus, who deceived the army of Nimrod, king of Babel,
uh-huh,
and Abimelech, king of Gerar,
uh-huh,
and that he possessed himself of the land of the children of Heth and all the kingdoms of Canaan.
So how you start with the covenant? Let's start with Abraham first. He tricked them Canaanites out of their land. It's a wicked people, these Hebrew people. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
And that he descended into Egypt and said of Sarah his wife, she is my sister, in order to mislead Egypt and her king.
See, now look, he didn't say that Pharaoh wanted to have sex with his wife and why he said this my sister. See, he left that part out conveniently though. You understand what I'm saying? But he's saying he lied to Pharaoh. Their forefather who God named this people with a covenant is a liar. Pharaoh. I know this people. Go ahead, what else it say?
Verse 11. His son Isaac also did so when he went to Gerar that dwelt there. And his strength prevailed over the army of Abimelech, king of the Philistines.
Uh-huh.
He also thought of making the kingdom of the Philistines stumble, in saying that Rebekah his wife was his sister.
Y'all see how they running our jacket on us? Go ahead, what else they say?
Verse 13.
Yeah.
Jacob also dealt treacherously.
How did Jacob deal?
He dealt treacherously with his brother and took from his hand the birthright and his blessing. He went then to Padan Aram, to the house of Laban, his mother's brother, and cunningly obtained from his daughter, from him his daughter,
uh-huh,
his cattle,
uh-huh,
and all belonging to him,
uh-huh,
and fled away and returned to the land of Canaan to his father.
See, ain't mentioned nothing about the 7 years he worked for Rachel.
Yeah.
And got tricked for
Said he was cunning. That was cunning?
Right. Got tricked with Leah. Then he worked another 7 years. So that would be correct. And then Laban tricked him because he didn't want to leave with the after he got all this stuff he promised. He worked another 6 years to build Laban's wealth up again. And they ain't mentioned nothing. They talking about he took all his cattle. Ain't mentioned nothing about how rich Laban became after that. Ain't mentioned none of that. Just meant there's some thieving, lying Hebrew people. And he trying to steal your crown at 3 years old.
What was the other 6 years for? I know you did the 7 years first and you gave Leah instead of Rachel in the next 7 years.
Well, see, when he did Rachel, he worked for her for 7 years. He was tricked with Leah. So he ended up doing another 7 years of servitude. He said, well, give me 7 and I'll go ahead and give it to you. But I can't, technically we weren't supposed to give you the second born before the firstborn. So we just righted the wrong. You were supposed to get Leah. And he like, what? He said, but go on, give me 7 more years, then I'll give you what you really want. So that's 14 years. And then he said, well, now I'm going to give you extra cattle. All the stripe going to be yours. These spotted going to be yours. And I'll take these. He gave him 6 more years of labor. Then he said, I'm going to take my wives and my cattle and we finna leave. And Laban didn't want him to go. But these people didn't get that side of the story on what the true deal was. They just got the drama. That's the only part they want the subject to see. Like that Michael Jackson boy on the train that got choked out. They don't want you to see the good that he was in. He was doing a lot of things before his mother was choked out by her boyfriend. Y'all understand that his mother was strangled to death by the stepdaddy. And then he gets strangled to death on the train. But they ain't saying nothing about that. The first thing they bring up is that he slapped a woman on the train, a 67-year-old woman. So you equal the score. A slap of that 60-year-old woman and this Negro throwing food around deserves the death penalty. You don't know this, people.
That's what they trying to say. What is
He'll moonwalk and slap an old lady in a second.
They're cunning.
You better watch this Negro. He needed to be choked out.
They're cunning and deceptive.
Boy, look here, read some more. What else to say, bro?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
His son sold their brother Joseph.
Why you gotta go there?
Boy, they going there.
His son,
Yeah.
boy, singing like the Temptations.
Taste it, ain't they, boy?
His
Claim
son
they'll
sold
believe.
him, boy, who went down into Egypt and became a slave, and was placed in the prison house for 12 years, until the former Pharaoh dreamed dreams, and withdrew him from the prison house, and magnified him above all the princes in Egypt on account of his interpreting his dreams to him.
Right.
And when Yah caused a famine throughout the land, he sent for and brought his father, and all his brothers, and the whole of his father's household, and supported them without price or reward, and bought the Egyptians for slaves.
Y'all see what he's saying? They turned the tables on us. And now they hiring Egyptians as slaves.
I don't remember that boy, Pinky.
But see, that's what he said. He said, look, Joseph interpreted my dream. He's second in command. He only answered to me. Whatever he say to y'all, y'all got to do it for him. And they became servants to Joseph. It's true, but he's making it sound like Joseph didn't do nothing for Pharaoh,
Right.
while Pharaoh made this proclamation.
Exactly.
Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 18.
Yeah.
Now therefore, my Lord King, behold, this child is risen up in their stead in Egypt, to do according to their deeds, and to trifle with every king, prince, and judge.
Y'all see how they put that word trifling on us?
Trifling.
It's a trifling people. He gonna trifle with you now. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
If it please the king, let us now spill his blood upon the ground.
A 3-year-old.
A 3-year-old. Lest he grow up and take away the government from thy hand, and the hope of Egypt perish after he shall have reigned. And Balaam said to the king, let us moreover call for all the judges of Egypt and the wise men thereof, and let us know if the judgment of death is due to this boy, as thou didst say, and then we will slay him.
So now they saying we're gonna bring it up to a spiritual matter. We're gonna throw dice, and we're gonna let the ancients or the elders, or what they call them, ancestors, see if this boy is up to no good. If this a lying baby, Hebrew baby. Go ahead. What else to say, bro?
Verse 21.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh sent and called for all the wise men of Egypt, and they came before the king. And an angel of the Most High came amongst them, and he was like one of the wise men of Egypt. And the king said to the wise men, surely you have heard what this Hebrew boy who is in the house has done, and thus has Balaam judged in the matter.
They've been calling us boy for a long time, and these some black bastards calling us a boy.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
Now judge you also, and see what is due to the boy for the act he has committed. And the angel, who seemed like one of the wise men of Pharaoh, answered and said as follows, before all the wise men of Egypt, and before the king and the princes. If it please the king, let the king send for men who shall bring before him an onyx stone and a coal of fire, and place them before the child. And if the child shall stretch forth his hand and take the onyx stone, then shall we know that with wisdom has the youth done all that he has done, and we must slay him. But if he stretch forth his hand upon the coal, then shall we know what it was not. Wait a minute. Then we shall know that it was not with knowledge that he did this thing, and he shall live.
Because it's hot. You know how you tell children that's hot. Don't touch that. It's hot. You know, and then they touching it. It's hot. Then I tell you it was hot, and then you would get that hot hand whooped. That same hot hand and get hotter. I told you not to touch it, didn't I? They didn't touch it no more, did they? So they gonna pull this, you know, let's do this then. Go ahead.
Verse 27. And the thing seemed good in the eyes of the king and the princes. So the king did according to the word of the angel of the Lord. And the king ordered the onyx stone and coal to be brought and placed before Moses. And they placed the boy before them. And the lad endeavored to stretch forth his hand to the onyx stone. But the angel of the Most High took his hand and placed it upon the coal. And the coal became extinguished in his hand. And he lifted it up and put it into his mouth.
Where he put that hot coal?
Into his mouth. And burned part of his lip. And the part of his tongue. And he became heavy in mouth and tongue. And when the king and the princes saw this, they knew that Moses had not acted with wisdom in taking off the crown from the king's head.
See, and that's where you get that heavy tongue. It almost sounds like Shannon Sharp. You know how they kind of mock him a little bit? They call it a thick tongue. You know, Skip, you know, see, when the Baltimore Ravens skip, you see, you know, it sounds like a thick tongue, you know, so they be like, boy, that boy country as hell. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what the angel did. So that saved Moses' life because he reached for the onyx stone. And that's why he said, I don't speak well. As a grown man, when he said, go speak to Pharaoh, he said, I don't speak well. He said, I ain't worried about that. Aaron speaks really well. He ain't had a hot coal on his tongue. His tongue is good. You just do what I tell you to do and perform these wonders. And ain't nobody going to be worried about what a name is. When I get through with these wonders, ain't nobody, because it still comes down to disobedience, obedience over disobedience, because he said, look, even when we do all this, these are the instructions. Put blood over your doorposts. And if you don't, the death angel going to get you too. See, so no matter, even if you knew the name, instructions were still there. You can't just know the name and think that's going to save you. You got to follow instructions. The instructions tell you who the true person is. The devil ain't going to never follow the Most High's instructions as far as doing you some good. He only quoted to verify you know him, and then he jump at your flesh. With your flesh override your spirit, and the lust start, and he say, now you playing with me. But he done already got you to know what your parents say. Like neighbors used to say, boy, do your mama know you out after 9? And you start lying. Well, she said we can come out, you know, at 9 if we stay on. She ain't said nothing like that. See, they ask you, and then when your mama come home and you tell them, you know, them children was out after 9. What? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say you said something. I said that to them. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Pearl.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Pearl. You know that doesn't make that. Boy, you can't stand Miss Pearline to this day, kid. We can hold that, y'all. Y'all read the rest of that, but we just want to inform you of why names are titles, and that's why Psalm 138, 1 and 2, he said he put his word above all his names.
Right.
See, names are titles. The mighty Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So they're titles that represent his power. But his true power is shown in wonders. It's the only thing that gets our attention. It's the only thing that lock down everything. Netflix got a show. What was that show? I was poor with watching last night. What was it called? About them storms. It's called Storm Chasers. It's on Netflix right now. It just shows all of natural disaster, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis. And I'm talking about a tsunami rolled 1,000 miles in from the shore. I mean, from the ocean. I mean, pushing cars and then sucked it all back out into the ocean. I mean, pulling cars, everybody trying to hang on. It's pulled everything right back in the ocean like it had a slingshot on it and pulled it right back in. I'm talking about went in 3 miles into land and yanked everything back into the ocean. People hanging on the building, you getting pulled. You done got flooded out. Now it's sucking you back into the ocean. Terrible. When you see that, then you'll know the true name of God, because everybody hollering it from their soul at this point, because they know the flesh is through. What you got, LC?
He said, Moab is my wash pot.
Moab is my wash pot. Yes, sir. Right. Where we at, y'all? Let's get back to it, y'all. We're going to get caught on up. Okay, we're going to Ephesians. No, we're going to pick that back up. Let's get one more on Satan, that old devil, so we know who we dealing with. We'll run that 2 Corinthians 11, then we'll hit that Ephesians. Y'all, they run our jacket for a reason. Y'all, our history follow us. Y'all understand what we saying? And if you don't know the word, you got Israelites that be believing that, yeah, Abraham did lie. And it ain't too far-fetched. We had Negroes around here talking about Abraham went off because he told Hagar and Ishmael to get going. But the Lord told him to do it. Right. See, Abraham went off. Abraham went off. And see, that's our people believe in bad things now. See, they've been reading Egyptian writing and they going to jump on the Egyptian side. What did they say over there? Go ahead, where we at?
We're in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11.
I thought we was going to... No, we're going to Ezekiel 28.
I said Ezekiel, and then you said Corinthians.
No, y'all said Ephesians.
I said, oh, we're going to Ezekiel, and then you said 2 Corinthians.
Well, y'all don't be up here. Look, I read about this people. See, they'll try to confuse you. See, they'll have one.
It's us confused.
And then other. This them people y'all Pharaoh never talking about. I'm just
cunning and deceiving.
Now, y'all, Ezekiel 28, y'all. That's what I want, and then we'll pick it all back up. I just want to show, Ezekiel 28. We start about 15. Yeah. Sometimes it ain't all the time.
Ain't some or nothing.
Yeah. Say becoming more often time.
Most times.
Yeah, well, we'll start about 12 or 11, it don't matter. But we just want to run his history again so y'all know he had power, and we talking about we giving Satan power. Satan had power. Satan's power was never taken from him. His power will be taken from him in Isaiah 65th chapter. Start verse 20 on down. His power will be taken. Revelation 22, his power will be taken. When the Messiah come back, then his power will be taken because he'll be locked up for 1,000 years. But right now, he has power. But you can defeat that power because you got his kryptonite. He show you what's going to cause him death. Real quick, he like, this my kryptonite. See, that'll punish me. And if you punish me with that kryptonite, with the law, then I ain't going to be able to give you what your flesh wants. We'll come back to that then. I want that house over there. And I want all them girls. And I want all the girls. Yeah.
That's what you going to get to. Yeah. That's exactly what you going to get to.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. I'm going to start the reading in verse 11.
Yeah.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family.
Let's get
Moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Most High Yah, Thou sealest up the sun, full of wisdom, and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of Yahweh. Every precious stone was thy cover. The sardius.
The what?
The sardius. Topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created.
So he's talking about that. Shalom, Vinyah.
Shalom.
Well, I hate to hear that, man. How family doing?
Everybody.
Everybody maintain that best they can be. Okay, well, good to see you, bro. I hate under these circumstances. We're letting the family know we're praying for y'all. Okay. Yes, sir. We're in Ezekiel 28, about in verse 15. 14. Go ahead.
And it reads, Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of Yah. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of Yah, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up.
What was thine heart?
Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty.
Because of thy beauty. That's why Satan masquerades as an angel of light. That's what his beauty. Y'all talking about the original bad boy. The original Lucius Lyons. So to speak, and he had a breastplate on. So he's a high priest. His chest is full of all of the top stones on planet Earth. Plus, he led the choir in heaven, the pipes that was prepared in thee, that was sing, you know, to the Most High and singing. Everybody got their training from him. This is power. What do you mean? Giving Satan power. Satan was created with power, just like the other archangels. But he let that power deceive him. Go ahead. What else to say, bro?
Verse 17.
Yeah.
Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness.
See, he corrupted his wisdom. He blasphemed against the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee.
So, y'all, we're going to see who the adversary is, because he's got to lay him before king. So, you can see, here y'all leader is. He down and out. What y'all going to do? What you think Trump or any of the other leaders of the world that Satan gave, or you think the Rothschilds going to look at the Messiah and say, you killed my teacher? Like in a karate movie. No, when they see Satan knocked down, they going to be like,
Right.
That's all we wanted to show you, to understand the power that he was given is now turned for wicked. And that's what Satan has to get you to do, to blaspheme the Holy Spirit, because there's no forgiveness. So what he wants you to do is to receive the Holy Spirit and blaspheme against it. Use guile with the Holy Spirit, to have the gift of the Most High and use it for deceit. That's why he said what you did to Adam and Eve, they were grown adults, they were born grown, but they had the mindset of a child, so to speak, till they were reared up fully. He said, you actually deceived children? You lower than I thought you was. It's one thing you got the angels that were created grown, but you done this to children. You just a low down dirty bastard, then, Mr. No Shoulders. You devour children? But Satan don't care.
Right.
Satan sent demons in the womb to devour children. Let's get some up.
Where you want to go from here?
Okay, we good with that? Okay, let's just hit 2 Corinthians 11, 13 to 15. And then we'll get into the survival test. y'all, the wiles of the devil. Be not ignorant of his devices, because his devices are right before us. If you don't know the word of the Lord, you get caught up in his devices. You start running other people's devices. This book was written in 1924. A book written in 1924. Wait a minute.
Right.
That's going to alter prophecy, ain't it? Mm-hmm. And who wrote this book? Some white man. That's the author, some white man?
Mm-hmm. That's what they're going on.
And they'll go with it.
Yeah.
And urge other people to buy. Some white man wrote the book. Doctrine. Then have you walking around in corduroy drawers under linen.
Corduroy drawers?
You got to pass the itch test, my brother.
Oh, man.
Desinex is at the finish line. There you go.
Dude, you better be itching. You got corduroy drawers.
Well, look here. Negroes are trying anything to please men. You see what they do for General Yohana? The whole belly, jump in the room, General on deck. I'm talking about jumping up heels, clicking like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. You kidding me? This what y'all do? And standing at attention? And he walking in and you can't see his belt buckle. I'm talking about now that star. I'm talking about he should be like that sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. I'm talking about when the shirt hit the pants and the buckle hitting right there. You know what I'm saying? That's uniform.
Right.
Yes, sir.
He ain't seen the pair of shoes he got on. He
called
can't see past that.
It's called a gig line.
Right. What is it called? Gig line.
A gig line.
But see, he had to ask his father what pair of shoes I got on, because he can't see them. And this who y'all jumping, standing at attention for. Boy, let's get some more of this.
All right, fam, we're going to be in the book of 2 Corinthians for real this time.
Yeah.
Chapter
Daniel
11.
didn't do nothing. What y'all doing?
Right.
Leave Daniel alone.
Tell him, man.
Look at that. He's looking for a friend.
Yeah, come on, Zay. Talk to him, Zay.
He didn't hear me say Ezekiel.
Right. I didn't know. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 11.
Yes, sir.
And verse 13. Everybody there? For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach.
See, they transform themselves. They bring in new doctrine. And they say it's Christ taught. When you hear Christ went over into India and over there to Bruce Lee offspring, and talking about learning from them, he's an Israelite. You understand what I'm saying? The Pharisees couldn't keep up with him. The lawyers and teachers of Israel couldn't keep up with him. What the hell is Bruce Lee offspring going to do with him? And what is he going to learn over there? Buddha teachings? See, this the madness. This the deceitful of workers talking about Christ is doing these type of things and can't be recorded nowhere. Why you see Christ sitting like this in a position like this tomorrow? And yes, and go on. And go on with more. And what shall I tell the tribe of Reuben and Naphtali? Go ahead, read that again, brother.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel.
See, don't even trip off of why this happening. No marvel. Go ahead.
For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
He says, so their father been doing this technique.
Right.
Hiding his hand and acting like he the Messiah.
This Paul checking them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because he told them, this ain't what I told you or taught you or the way I laid it out. You
Absolutely.
have taken it and made it your own and have corrupted the divine gift that he has delivered to
And that's what we're talking about, y'all. This gift is so important. Like them Hebrews saying, this is a Hebrew child. They got them spirits. Pharaoh and all his advisors saying, we know Hebrew children. We can look at them and tell, this is a Hebrew baby. This baby actually could probably outrun half of us in high school. In the first grade. Y'all done seen it? Yeah. So they know, they can tell, they can look. You can see the look in their eye when they see a Hebrew child, and they truly know, and they can see that gift just blaring out because it can't be taught. You can't send them to Harvard to get this gift. is in him. You can't teach what Barry Sanders was doing in the backfield. I mean, what would you write on a piece of paper? And the quarterback will hand you the ball. You then shift your hips violently to the right. And that should make the first defender fly by. And then you take those same hips and shift them violently to the left. And that defender should fly by. And then you take off with rocket speed, ain't been seen, up the middle. And they should be after you reaching and grabbing. And you should be in the end zone. Who got it? Who's next? Who wants to train? Boy, you couldn't teach that if you throw the lotto winners on the table. Because it's a gift. Nobody ain't been able to do it. What sense is?
That's how y'all sure made it through that crowd.
That's how he made it through that crowd real quick like that. Look, what Bo Jackson do, and I'm telling you, to me, that's just to me, that's the greatest athlete I've ever seen was Bo Jackson. I'm talking about a 2-star sport athlete, 3-star, played basketball, hockey. Like when I say Bo, no, Bo could do it. I watched Bo run up a wall, up the outfield wall. I'm talking about not, you know how somebody grabbed and turned up. Bo ran up it like this and ran across the top, caught the ball, and came back down. Bo beat an infield baseball shot to the infield. He outrun it to first base. Bo used to just break bats over his head like this and off his knee like this. If Bo Jackson hadn't got his hip pulled out of socket when that man was just hanging on for dear life, he had drugged him about 50 yards and pulled his hip out of socket, we would have never seen another athlete like this. Bo is what, in the testament of Judah, when you see Judah was the athlete, when you looking there looking at Bo Jackson like that, they're like, this Judah. This Judah got to be Judah. Look at this athlete. All y'all have to do is Google right now. Bo Jackson runs up a wall. Bo Jackson was running so fast, he went down into the tunnel. You know where they run when the game over? This how fast he was running. He couldn't slow down. He had to run in the tunnel and came back out a quarter later. They was in the fourth quarter. When Bo Jackson come out, he was running that fast. I ain't never seen an athlete like Bo Jackson. I'm just telling you.
I think your TV had a delay.
I'm telling you, Bo probably went home and got a sandwich and was on his way back. Where we at, y'all? Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their work.
Whose end shall be what?
According to their work.
And works, y'all, are a practice process. See, you will be judged according to your works because you follow Satan's instructions.
Exactly.
It ain't because you just happenstance to put on a pair of Nikes and they got a swoop on them, or you was in the store and you just happened to buy some flowers the same day and it happened to be a February the 14th. You just like, no man, I'm just buying some. I don't care what day it is. This is the day I chose to buy some flowers. These lilies anyway, you know, and you know, so you don't get caught up and they say, that's devil worship. Devil worship is a doctrine. Devil worship instructs you so that God can look at you and say, you full well at this point knew that this wasn't what I commanded. You knew this was devil worship at this point. It's like when they're in the mansion parties, when they go in the room, when they see what's in the room, you can go in that room and close the door, but you know what's in that room. You close that door and go to another room, and then you say, there's some wickedness going on up there in that mansion, but you stayed in there. You didn't leave that mansion. Ephesians 6. And then we're going to get into survival test, y'all. We'll close on out of here. Vivian, help yourself back there. Different kind of burgers back there and everything. Help yourself back there, bro. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Paul was letting him have it. Like, in verse, I ain't going to take over the class. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
You already spoke.
Go ahead, Paul Jr. I'm just messing with you, bro. Go ahead.
You said we go close out. Hey, but Paul was letting them have it.
Yeah.
They took what he eventually came, because when he I'm trying to think of where he came from.
We understand.
But when he came back, because he left and came back. When he came back, he said, "This ain't what I taught y'all." This ain't what I told you.
Well, hold on, man. That's how fast it'll change on you, bro. That's what we talking about. That's how fast the devil can get in and switch the instructions.
It was blasphemy. They had literally corrupted what he was sent to give them, and he laid down.
That quick. That's how fast the devil moves, man. See, he like, look, you know y'all gonna be waiting on that for at least another 2,000 more years. So you, and you gonna be dead. Or do you want to play with me right now? Cause see, I've been living. I've been giving gifts out since the Garden of Eden. So what you want to do? Do you, and you who gonna be dead in about the next 40 years? Cause y'all ain't gonna live that long. Do y'all want to play now? I got mansions I got to pass on, or I can go to somebody else. That's why I'm saying watch the movie The Devil's Advocate. Y'all understand exactly what I'm saying. How the devil plays. Say you can keep on playing around. You can wait for that spiritual 401k to manifest. But I'm telling you now, spend that paper now. Get them stacks on deck now.
Now see, Israel,
want them stacks on deck now.
The Gentiles who had not attained to the knowledge,
right,
have attained to the knowledge, took the ball and ran with it.
Yes, sir.
Now, just to make Israel jealous so they could pick the ball back up and get where they're supposed to be. But they still didn't.
They still ain't to this day, bro. That's why it says a remnant.
They still didn't.
A remnant.
That's that Romans 9.
This is what Paul was trying to say. He like, look, man, everything y'all trusting in, I used to be that. Don't y'all understand? That's like somebody going from this word and then go to some other thing. They trying to prove it to you. You like, you got to be kidding me. You gonna bring that to this table, and you know what this table's about. And the only way you can get that off is to say this is tampering. We don't bring that tampering doctrine around her. Go away from her with that. And you holler, go away from her. And when you holler it like that, they're going away from her.
Right.
Let's get some more.
No way. Ephesians 6.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11.
Yes, sir.
Verse 10. Finally, my brother, be strong in the Most High.
How we got to be there?
Be strong in the Most High. And in the power of his might.
And in the power of his might. Have you seen anything about name yet? It say in the power of his might. His might is his signs and wonders. That's his might. When you see a tornado 150 miles wide, moving 600 miles an hour. What are you going to do with that, bro?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you, bro. Go ahead.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Put on the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
See, you got to put the whole armor on. You cannot leave the shoes at home, and there's the devil out there seeking whom he may devour. You got to have the whole armor on, or you're going to be swallowed up whole. The devil needs you to leave one piece off of your attire. Go ahead, Zeb.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Against what?
Principalities. Against powers. Against rulers of the darkness of this world.
Who did it say? What kind of, did it say powers? It didn't say we gave the devil power, didn't it? It says who we wrestling against got what?
Power.
We didn't do that, did we?
No.
We didn't write these scriptures. He has power.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
This let you know this ain't got nothing to do with no flesh game. This is spiritual wickedness. Right. This is like them soothsayers Pharaoh called. Tell me the truth about this 3-year-old boy. Is he up to no good, snatching my crown off his head? He had to call for spiritual oracles to divine what this boy has done. Simple thing is pulling the crown off the king's head. And they had to run our whole jacket to get the answer. And then stage a test.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth.
Having your what?
Loins girt about with truth.
See, that's the first thing he said, your loins girded about the truth, because he's telling you Satan is coming for the flesh, and he's coming with sexual fornication first. So the first thing is you got to put on that spiritual chastity belt, both men and women. Because that's where he coming for first. Because it was the commandment to get life started. Be fruitful and what? I need you to multiply bad children. So I'm starting there first. I want wicked children on the scene. I want them hips swiveling fast for wickedness. First. So we have to gird ourselves there first so we don't get caught up in a Proverbs 7. What else to say?
Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
And the breastplate of what?
Righteousness.
See, that's your heart. That's where it's supposed to settle in, your breastplate. From the heart, so to speak. Go ahead.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
See, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel to take it from city to city. Your feet you got to have the best shoes on. You can't have on gaiters one size too small because you just don't want to get rid of them. They're going to have you walking pigeon toe and you ain't going to make it one block. Tight shoes make you walk pigeon toe. I don't know why. And step lightly, boy, because they be hurting, man. You know they was only good for an hour and 13 minutes, and you've been in that concert for 3 hours. You well overdue, boy, like a boot on your car, ain't it? You got to take the heel off. Go ahead, bro.
Above all, taking the shield of faith.
The shield of what?
Faith.
See, that's above all. All that equipment on, and you don't believe or don't have faith, you'll be like Saul, trying to give his armor to David. That armor didn't mean nothing to him because he had no faith. David said, I don't need your armor. I got faith. All I need is slingshot. What you got back there, Thomas? You waving like you're on the screaming eagle. Go ahead. What you saying?
I was explaining to a couple of people, like, we was in a forum. There was several of us, and I said, what's the first thing before you get to going through these scriptures with somebody? What's the first question they got to answer rightly? And they couldn't figure it out. I say, do you believe?
That's it, bro. That's what faith is, belief in Hamashiach. That he's going to fix the problem in the garden, because ain't no other fixes. Ain't no other fixes, bro.
In the book of Eli, let me get that book.
Boy, let me get that book.
It don't mean nothing to you.
Let me get that book.
Because you don't believe.
He said, I can control people with this book. He wanted it for evil. Let's get some more.
Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
See, all the fiery darts, quench them. That means when they get to you, like you watch them, what's that boy, Matrix. You know how the bullets stop right there? That's what you be able to quench. All the darts that Satan throw at you will just fall off you like that. That's quenching them fiery darts, but you got to have this whole armor on tonight, because it said no weapon formed against you going what?
Prosper.
See, so it can't prosper. It may jump on you, but then you'll shake it off. It can't prosper. It can't manifest on you. So that's what you're trying to get this whole armor on for. So if he shoot anything at you, it's just bouncing off you. See, you can't have that Superman armor on. See, the Superman armor, they shot him in the chest and he stood like this and took that whole clip of that 9mm. Pow, pow, pow. And then when they run out of bullets, they throw the gun at him and he ducked. See, so his head was got no armor on.
Maybe it was made out of kryptonite.
Look, I don't know. But look, you take a full clip like this to the chest and then they throw it at you and you duck. If they had a let off headshot, Superman would have been through, wouldn't he? Didn't look good for Superman to do that, did it?
That wasn't good look, bro.
Superman didn't have on a helmet of salvation.
He wasn't fully convicted.
He wasn't good. Right. Let's get some more. You finished that?
Did I finish? Yeah, I'm on 17.
Yeah.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit.
In the how?
In the Spirit. And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
See, this is what you got to do. You got to be watching thereunto with all perseverance. So you got to stay on your game. It's not just praying and think it's done. You got to watch as well as pray. You got to stay on your game and keep your head on swivel.
As soon as you relax, you'll have you tripping.
Boy, have you tripping. Boy, you must be head on swivel. Looking through peripheral, looking from eyes in the back of your head, so to speak. Because your adversary don't never give up. When you go to sleep, he said, guess what? I'll get you in the fourth watch of the night. You've been drinking that coon liquor, that cheap liquor. You know, you out of it now. I can see you spent to unconscious. You know, when you try to sit back up when you had to, and then you lay back and you just say the hell with it. See, that's what he wants you to say. When you say the hell with it, you're tired of getting back up like this. You can't throw up. You did all you can. You know, you ain't got nothing else to throw up but them two down there between your legs. So you just spin. And then finally you say the hell with it and you just go out. And then you hope to just wake up looking around, oh, I'm still on earth. And that's when the devil come in and play. And boy, he loves to play with you when you done went unconscious from a substance. He loves to play because he gets to be the driver. Because now you're in your conscience. And if your conscience have been overrun, then there's going to be a problem when that driver get in there. Because when you wake up, he say, just stay on the passenger side. You riding shotgun today. I'm driving. Relax. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Keep going.
Yeah, is that the last one?
Verse 19.
You can hold that in. Well, let's get right to it, y'all. The test, y'all. And we ain't got but a few more. We're going to get on out of here. Let's hit this first. Galatians 1 through 13, 1:10, 4, and then we'll get into the test of the Messiah and Job. And then the failed test members, John, in the book of John, Judas, and Ananias. And y'all gonna understand this perfectly, why you have the whole armor on. Satan don't care nothing about flesh. He knows it's already deteriorating, and you know it too, but he makes you believe it's gonna come back to life, and it'll never be able to die after you sin. Don't believe that lie.
Right.
Don't you believe that you can live forever? You God. Start calling all your friends gods and kings. And go ahead, do it, man. Do it. But don't read that part where it say you're going to die like men. Just tell them they gods. Don't give them the whole thing. Jeremiah would say half the truth is a whole lie, ain't it?
Right. Galatians chapter 1.
Yeah.
Galatians chapter 1, verse 1.
I'll catch up with you there.
Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by man, but by Yahushua Mashiach.
That's right.
And Yah the Father, who raised him from the dead, and all the brethren which are with me, unto the churches of Galatia. Grace be to you and peace from the God, the Father, and from the Lord Jesus Christ.
That sounds like three, don't it, Don? From God the Father and from our Lord Jesus Christ. Grace and peace, which the grace is the Spirit. Go ahead.
Who gave himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present evil world, according to the will of God and our Father, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you unto the grace of Hamashiach, unto another gospel.
Unto what?
Another gospel.
See, he marveled. This is what you were talking about, Thomas. That quick y'all done flipped. That quick y'all chasing the wind just off a YouTube video, and you this far gone and you trying to promote it? That quick from the gospel. See, y'all, because the gospel ain't requiring chief seats or different things. The gospel means good news. All I need y'all to do is tell them the repairer of the breach is on the way. Y'all can talk about who y'all are later. I can make stones out of Israelites. Just tell them the repairer of the breach of that drama in the Garden of Eden is on the way. That's your sole mission. And I'll give you powers to fight and tread on scorpions. And I only need 2 of y'all to hit the streets at a time. At the most 3. That's all I need. Hit them streets and just preach the gospel. They gonna ask you what tribe are you from. See, Paul was eventually asked that. He said, myself, I'm also an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin.
Right. So you don't have to have a uniform on?
No, you got to have no uniform on. They going to ask, once that gospel is preached, once that light turns on in there, they don't say, what doctrine you, what denomination? You know denomination. Well, I ain't never heard this before. Well, who are you? What? If you want to know, I'm an American citizen, birthed in this land, but by tribal origin, I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Judah. And they're like, okay, so you ain't like that foolishness hollering out on the street corner. No, I ain't like that doctrine. I'm that people, but I ain't that doctrine. I'm of the gospel of Christ. It's a different gospel that separate us. We what is it? We kinfolk, but we ain't we skinfolk, but we ain't spiritual kinfolk. That's the only thing that separates, and that's what you need to let them know, so you don't get caught with that guilt by association. You running there, we Israel, and you going down, and we're gonna kill you, and we're gonna kill your children, we're gonna do all this. They're gonna be like, this is a devil's doctrine, which it is, right? Because that ain't found in the scripture. Raping children. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 7, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you. I would pervert and would pervert the gospel of Christ.
See, they will pervert. I want y'all to understand, they pervert the good news. And that's believing you can take over another man's kingdom by setting up a compound with 10, 11 trailers and a Home Depot fence surrounding it. 2 guards at the front. And keep talking about the government is the evil people and you on a 501c3. Y'all, it's just foolishness. And they pervert the gospel and still like we read in the Bible and saying this is what it's teaching. You got to be kidding me. Y'all be overrun that in 2 seasons. It'll be full of babies and corruption.
You watching the Rockadoochies
Boy,
or something?
look here. They watch the Rockadoochies. See, the Rockadoochies take it from every camp. They take a bit from every camp. All you have to do is watch it and look at the Pharisee work, and you can see, okay, that's IUIC right there. That's this group right there. That's this group right there. Yeah, they're taking bits, and it ain't no coincidence they wearing purple. Y'all think that's a coincidence? And then they just take bits and pieces from here and there, punishment trailers and things. Demona got punishment trailers. Florida, Hugh Lyon Mitchell had a punishment trailer. He had a whooping ass room. That's where he would have a grown man get on his knees and hike his rear end up, and the women come through with whooping paddles and whoop him on his ass, a grown man with a beard, and that's like you two by sitting. May I have another? Right. Let's get some more, bro.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
But though we are an angel from heaven.
Though we are what?
Or an angel from heaven. Preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you. Let him be accursed.
See, that's off the top. I don't care. It said it don't mean. It said this will go to angel status. I'm not talking about cause your cousin fell out. If he coming with a different gospel, call him accursed. This how serious it is. Maybe he'll shake loose from that and come back home. But you can't be tolerated. Well, I can see your point there, Ark. I can see you ain't no points.
Ain't no point.
It's about if your name got blotted out the book of life. That's the only point that count. If he says, I don't see your name. See, your name is in the book of life. You're just trying not to get it blotted out. And if he say, no, I'm not going to try your alias. Your alias is worm dieth not. That's your alias if I don't see your name here and I don't see it. Go away. It's as simple as that, y'all. The books will be open and your name better be in there. And when he run his finger down, if he don't see it, ain't no negotiating. Ain't no negotiation.
Did you just spelling it right?
No, you can't do no Hail Marys. You can't rub no rosary beads.
Could you look one more time?
No, I ain't gonna look one more time. I know
it's
the order is here. Oh boy, look here. He know it all. Because you know what the name gonna be? The doctrine, the gospel. And when he pull up your name in there, you are preaching another gospel. That's why your name ain't in the book. That's what he's going to show you. He's going to show you preaching another gospel. I'm not talking about stagger upon a garment and it just happened to have a star on the sleeve of it or something like that. No, I'm talking about where you use that star and you start practicing and you're reading instructions and then throw some eggplant in there. And then you throw put these mushrooms, and then put a crystal in the center, and then say these words. That's what's going to be on Judgment Day. Not no foolishness and show you sitting up with a pair of Nikes on. It's not about that, y'all. It's about instruction keeping, the right instruction. Let's read some more.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
As we said before, so I now again. So say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or Yahweh? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Hamashiach.
Y'all see that? If I please men, if I become a man pleaser.
That's the verse right
Boy, look here. I'm not you. He said you can get going. If you want to make a man happy, you want to tell him how well he is, and he got a prescription in his back pocket and a pill with a child safety lock on it, and you show him respect like that, he needs my help. The doctors can't even help him. That's why they got him on prescription. And you call him me? You look at him like he's me? You better get going with that doctrine. Your name will get put out of the book of life. Let's read a little bit more. That's it.
But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which is preached of me is not after man. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Hamashiach Yahushua. For ye have heard of my conversation in time past, the Jews' religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of Yahweh and wasted it.
And see, this is what Paul said. He said, because I was chasing the doctrine of the Jews' religion. See, that's Pharisee doctrine. That's a religion. That's Mark 7:7, commandments of men. He said, that's why I was persecuted. I was chasing a man-made doctrine. And if you understand, anybody that's chasing a man-made doctrine persecute their own first. Anybody doing right, they persecute. Hell, you seen them persecuting each other up in Kansas City, scrapping on the sidewalk.
Right.
What the unbeliever gonna say if he walked through?
He was filming.
Yeah, he was filming it. He was saying a whole lot.
You right.
I knew something was gonna happen.
You can hold her there. 1 10:4. Y'all, and this the other thing that's coming, y'all. See, because he's letting us know these are the wiles of the devil. You don't have to, all you have to do is listen for the instruction. When you see this, it's the devil work. Ain't no need in trying to discuss it. Ain't no need trying to go back door with it. Ain't no need going over to China to Bruce Lee and them people. Ain't none of that. Because I didn't give you them instructions. I told you go tell the people Christ is here. Part 1 of the prophecy has been fulfilled. Tell them part 2 is coming. The second coming. Not the third coming like Christianity teach. You know, it say he coming in stages. Can y'all imagine like this, an act at the Fox Theater? And now we'll be getting into the 5th act. Christ gather up the saints. Shalom, so be careful out there.
You sound stage.
You know, sound stage. And then we'll have intermission, and then we'll come back with the 6th part of Christ's return.
You running in production?
Boy, look here. Go ahead, bro. 1 Timothy 4.
Daniel, Sister Eve said, please continue to pray for me and the children. I know how powerful prayer.
Look, make sure sis get them emails, if you will. Right. Shalom, Sister Eve Trucker. We got you, sis. We're going to hear that matter. We just need you to get contact with us so we can see what we can do about that.
4 and 1, right?
Yeah, 4 and 1. Go ahead, I'll catch up.
Yep. You knew I was going to say it with your hand.
You sure not these mags, yeah, you did better.
All right, family. We're going to be reading in the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, and we're going to start the reading in verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
In the what times?
In the latter times. Some shall depart from the faith.
Y'all understand this? In the last days, some shall depart from the truth of Hamashiach. In the last days. And ain't that happening now?
Yes, sir.
Some saying, I don't even believe him no more. Hippie on the stick. What you got, sis?
So this is like just kind of echoing what it says in Revelation, how they're love and many will wax cold.
Absolutely, sis. Same thing. Same thing. Love meaning the law will wax cold, that the law won't even seem like it exists no more. You know how a candle ain't been lit in a while and that wax is just thick on it? That's what it's talking about. That's how the law is being perceived now because of these new doctrines coming in. Go ahead, bro. What it say?
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
See, seducing spirits, that means spirits that possess you.
Right.
And doctrines of devils. That's somebody that's been possessed by a demon and now they're teaching demon doctrine. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy.
Doing what?
Speaking lies and hypocrisy.
See, speaking lies and hypocrisy, saying the Bible tampered with, the next thing you know, they in the same verse they just said it was tampered with. Hope you don't catch it. You see, I don't believe in no Jesus. That was made up by the Council of Nicaea. And then 2 minutes later, I heard this Negro say, but see in Matthew 4:4, I can kind of say, because the Messiah. Wait a minute. You just said he didn't exist, and now you quote Matthew 4 of his existence? You crazy. That's lying and hypocrisy.
Yeah.
One breath you putting it down, the next breath you trying to prove it. Go ahead, bro.
Having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
And what is being seared?
Their conscience.
See, it's going to sear your conscience because it's messing with your soul. Well, somebody may hear me doing this trickery. And it's playing with your soul. See, and that's what it's saying. It's seared because you're trying to play both sides of the fence. You got on 2 uniforms. That's going to be rough, ain't it?
Right.
You know what it is trying to wear 2 uniforms. It don't work.
It don't.
Sooner or later, you're going to have to shed one of them. Let's get some more.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Forbidding to marry.
Doing what?
Forbidding to marry.
And y'all got to understand this. This is spiritual first. Jeremiah 3 say we married unto the Most High. And if you forbid to marry our God, because you know what? He's the only God on earth that has a marriage covenant. Every other God is just worship of men and other things and birds and animals and creeping things. But our God, we have a marriage certificate and a covenant with it. No other gods on earth have a marriage covenant with their people. I'm talking about a wedding ceremony. Like we're going to read in Revelation 20:21, the marriage supper of the Lamb. You ever read the marriage supper of Pharaoh?
No.
Y'all ever read the reception and the honeymoon of Buddha?
Never seen it.
This is what we're talking about, y'all. So it starts there first. Go ahead. And they said, we don't want you to marry that God no more. All gods are good. It's called coexist.
Right.
Every God matters. And then you get that gumbo, Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, Hebrewism, this doctrine, that doctrine, all rolled up into one.
What's that smell?
Boy, what's that smell? Go ahead, brother.
Forbidding to marry. And commanding to abstain from meat.
It say commanding. I know what the Bible says in Leviticus, but I'm telling you, it's going to kill you. Wait a minute. So what God is saying, y'all understand it's the same doctrine of the devil. I see what God tell you, but I'm telling you garlic ain't no good for you. Who the hell are you? And your breath smelling like garlic. I hear hypocrisy.
Right.
You don't hear it, you smell it.
Well, yeah, it smell like you've been to, what's that, that Chinese place, that Ping Pong Lee?
Ping Pong Lee?
You know, what is it? What's that Chinese place up there on Hall Ferry? Panda Express. Y'all know what I'm saying. That garlic chicken. Yeah, go ahead. Where we at?
Oh, you mean that American Japanese?
Yeah.
Commanding to abstain from meat.
Right.
Which Yah hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Now the truth is in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14 chapter. Ain't that the truth?
That's right. See,
and if it ain't in there, because that tells you what meat you can eat and what meat you can't. It's sanctified by truth, which is his law. What you got back there, sis?
So question, so like a lot of people, where are they getting all this vegan stuff from? Like I saw like a post one day, like different this girl was like, she was reading the Old Testament of Christ.
And the what
the
testament?
sealed portion of Christ, and it was saying something about abstaining from meat, but I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
It don't make
Jesus
sense.
all through the Bible, like
He eat meat. It don't make sense. It's
Right.
lies and hypocrisy.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. In the one breath saying it, and then the next breath say Christ didn't say it. And when Christ himself is saying, you know, who got some meat around here?
Right.
When he came back resurrected, he asked for meat. Right. Who got some meat around here?
But everything they call it is deception. Vegan chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Wait a minute,
It's
that's
not
hypocrisy,
chicken, so
ain't
why
it?
is it vegan
It's
chicken
chicken
nuggets?
nuggets.
What are you doing? Vegan
Plant-based
hamburger? What?
Plant-based burger. see, all of it, y'all, is to throw you
I
off
mean,
the
if you
game.
don't want to eat
But
meat, that's
look,
on you,
sis,
but
Right.
come
See,
on now.
sis,
Quit imitating it.
it's for the whole lie of believing what the Most High marked for death. They're saying we could bring that part back to life, and it's called your flesh. They never say anything about your consciousness.
And
They never say it relieves your soul of sinning, your mind not to think sin. They said we can fix this, what they say is dying, with vegetation.
And ain't none of it gonna stop
See, vegetation we supposed to eat, but we supposed
None
to have
of
a
it.
well-balanced diet. Meat, greens, and corn and vegetable. That's what we're supposed to have as a well-balanced diet. When you remove one, you're going to be off balance. You understand? It's like walking with a stiletto and a flat shoe. And
You don't know about
a
that,
church shoe. You know, when you know what the sanctified people run around the church, they change shoes. So it's like having a stiletto and one of them church running shoes on. You're going to be off balance.
A church running shoe?
Yeah. Yeah, they got running shoes, boy. You ain't seen them run in the church, hey. Go ahead, sis.
if we didn't eat meat, wouldn't the world be overrun with animals?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's not so much
And
as
didn't
that.
God make men like?
It would change the system in the world because everything have a just balance.
Right.
It's like that in the jungle they eat so many and flies then eat mosquitoes and then they eat this. It's a system that's set up perfectly, and you gotta have both of them. The only thing is the thing we eat can't eat meat. Though it's of meat, it can't eat meat.
We eat vegetarian.
So we eat vegetarian meat, so to speak, real meat that cheweth the cud and split it the hook. That's what we're talking about. See, the instructions tell us what to do. These instructions tell us to cut out the word of God and try this new thing where everybody that's on that diet, their ancestors are dead. It ain't like they got somebody they will out. Lettuce man 3,000, y'all. He been living for 672 years.
He lived the whole day with the yard.
And he
with
can
the
do.
Lord.
And look, he can mow a grass on with one shoe on. He can do this, and he's 700, y'all, from eating this diet. It don't exist. They dead. You can't bring this back to life because this ain't what killed it in the garden. That's where they try to switch it to make you think it was a lettuce contest in the garden that caused this problem. It was disobedience of God's word. They ate the fruit of lies, like Hosea 10:13 say. The fruit of lies. Let's read some more, y'all. We got to get out of here.
Where you at?
Verse 4
Yeah.
in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4. For every creature of Yah is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified by the word of Yah and praise.
So we see how it's sanctified. Pork is not sanctified by the word of God. It can't be according to Ezekiel. Isaiah 66 chapter. He said, because if I catch you with swine in you, I'm going to put you down if it's in your vessel and you're saying you're holy. It's not sanctified. It says those that sanctify themselves eating swine's flesh. So it's not truth meat. You can't pray over pork. It's not going to do anything. The only thing you can pray for is a quick exit.
Right.
Let me have the swamps immediately.
Your wish shall be his
Give me
command.
command, and there'll be just a little burning with it. But go ahead, finish some more of that, bro.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine.
How you gonna be nourished up in what?
In the words of faith and of good doctrine. Whereunto thou hast attained.
Now this is what we have to avoid. These are the devices of the devil. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
But refuse profane and old wise fable, and exercise thyself rather unto God. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come.
See, so y'all, that's what that does. See, and regular exercise keep your body in shape, you know, so you just don't fold over and be stiff. It just loosen that up, but that's all it's going to do, because it's still marked to stiffen up. You still going to do this, I don't care how many push-ups you do. The day coming, you going to be pushed, they're going to be pushing you down in the ground, and you ain't going to be able to push back up. So push-ups going to wear out in the long time. Not saying that you shouldn't help that, keep that blood circulating, y'all, because we walked everywhere in Jerusalem. That was the difference in why our blood was always running and we were low, because we walked everywhere.
They walk everywhere in Jamaica.
Boy, look here, they do. Everywhere.
No Chevys?
No Chevy. Few of them who got them for the special people. But look, a young Ock walked to his 8th grade graduation at Harris Store, and they gave him a full ride when he graduated.
Gave him a bike, gave him
This is how he wanted.
car.
Yes, sir. Because he said, I have to get to my graduation. They say, we see promise in this young man. You got a full ride here if you make it through this academy in high school. You got a full ride here. You don't have to pay for books. You don't have to pay for room. You don't have to pay for nothing. Because of your diligence, you walk 2 hours to get to your 8th grade graduation because they my
Right.
Boy, y'all see, this is what happens when people who truly understand you go that extra mile for something that counts.
Right.
Especially in this day. Back in the day, we used to walk everywhere.
Sure did,
Now
bro.
they barely come out the house.
Did we finish that? We can hold that. Let's get this, y'all, real quick, y'all. We want to do just a Messiah, Luke 4:1, and then we're going to hit just a little bit of Job 1, and we'll close out. We'll get a homework for the 2 people that failed the test. Luke 4. Y'all, anytime you tell me, I don't really trust who. We don't know if Paul wrote that. You don't know nothing.
Right.
Hell, you don't even know who signed your birth certificate. Now, hell, name the doctor right now. Right now, anyone in us in here, name the doctor that signed your birth certificate. Which one of us can hold our hand up this quick, unless you got your birth certificate in your pocket? 2 by who signed your birth certificate? The doctor. Okay, see that? And we talking about we don't know if Paul, if Matthew and Peter really said that.
James chapter 1, verse 7.
Yeah.
For let not that man who is wavering, right? Hold on, let me go back to 5. James chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. Verse 6. But let him ask in faith.
Let him ask in what?
Faith.
There it is again. Go
Nothing
ahead.
wavering, no doubt.
No doubt.
For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. For no kind of man is unstable in all his ways.
Ain't nobody gonna pay you if you just show up at the job and just sit there. Now got to be some work. You just can't sit in the parking lot. You've been sitting in the car for 8 hours and you thought this what they hired you for?
You fired. You fired. How you get fired on your first day?
On your first day. Shit, I never got out the car. Go ahead. Right. Go ahead, bro.
We're going to be reading in the book of Luke, chapter 4. We're going to start the reading in verse 1. Everybody there? You good? And Yeshua, being full of the Holy Ghost.
What was he full?
Full of the Holy Ghost. Returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness.
Now understand this. This is when Satan attack y'all. This is what we're saying. He must have you blaspheme the Holy Spirit. There's no forgiveness. Notice he didn't attack Christ until he was full of what?
Full of the Holy Ghost.
So he's one to make Christ blaspheme. That kills everything. The breach of repair, wickedness will run through eternity if this fails. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
Being 40 days tempted of the devil, and in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered.
Now, we talk about people who fasted 40 days. Moses was up in the mount 40 days and didn't eat. Ezekiel fasted. But y'all, this wasn't being tempted of the devil. This was getting them cleansed to talk to the Most High. But I'm talking about 40 days of him at his putting in his major work. I'm talking about the devil putting in his major work for 40 days on you, hoping to break your cycle. 40 days of the devil. Y'all, we crying about yesterday, this weekend, man, just was a bad weekend. How about 40 days in a row?
Right.
I'm talking about the pounding don't end. Get some more, brother.
And then he say, and when they were ended,
yes,
at the end of the 40
yes,
days,
sir,
he was afterward hungered.
So he passed the test.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And the devil said unto him, if thou be the Son of Yah, command this stone that it be made bread.
So now I'm going to try to get off on your hunger. I'm finna see if your flesh is back in control again. Go ahead.
And Yeshua answered him, saying, it is written.
It is what?
It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Yahweh.
He didn't say by the name of Yahweh. He said by every word of it.
That's
every word. So look, this is why we have to say to ourselves, you know, you have to be careful unless you explain it thoroughly when you say it's not a salvational issue. It's a salvational issue from Genesis 1:1 to Revelation 22:16. That's the last verse. Everything in there is a salvational issue because it talks about the fall of mankind and the redemption. Every word leads, every word is of salvation, because it puts it all together for a salvational puzzle. You know, understand what I'm saying? If you leave one piece out and say, well, it's not that important, then is the baby toe important?
Yeah.
Cut your baby toe off and get an electric slide contest and see how angry the people be at you. Your gate gonna be off. Cut your baby finger off and see if you can grip a bottle. 50% of the strength in your hand is in the baby finger. The rest is in the other four fingers. You cut your baby finger off, you'll never grip a cold beer like you used to. Everything keeps slipping out of your hands. Buttery fingers, they be called. Yay, butter. Come here. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Not nothing. Butter.
Butter, yes.
I'm just drinking out of straw.
Right.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
Who gave the devil this power? Did we give it to him? No, sir. And who gave him this power? How did he get power to show the future? All the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. The kingdoms had already been recorded in the book of Daniel. And I saw 4 kingdoms before Messiah come back. The kingdoms are already listed. He showed them all of it. You want to rule these? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And the devil said unto him, all this power.
All this what?
All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I give it, and to whomsoever I will I give it.
So that's the devil telling you that power ain't came from St. Louis.
Right.
We ain't giving the devil no power. This power he's exhibiting 2,000 years with Elohim, the Godhead, one of the 3. He's telling them I got power.
Right.
Ezekiel 28 told us he got power.
Exactly.
St. Louis ain't gave no power.
Ain't gave him nothing.
You didn't get it from the north side?
Boy, look here. If we had power, we'd take over this building and leave when we feel like it.
Right.
Yeah, you better look at the clock while you're talking to
Yes.
Because it is.
Go ahead, bro. We just gonna get a little bit more of this.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
If thou therefore will worship me.
Do what?
Worship me. All shall be thine.
See, he didn't say just I'll give it to you. He said you got to worship me.
Right.
I'm finna give you a set of instructions that I gave Cain, that I whispered in the Eve ear. I'm gonna give you them same instructions. If you worship me, and then here's your reward.
Right.
All these kingdoms. What the Messiah say?
Verse 8.
Yeah.
And Yeshua answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan. For it is written, that thou shalt worship the Most High thy Elohim, and him only shall thou serve.
We can hold there. Y'all read the rest of that. We're going to get right down into the power. And this is another thing that y'all get into Matthew 8. I'm just going to give this out as homework. 8:23, and you'll see where the Messiah rebuked the storm. Satan will have his way in the storm. There's little storms he can have. And y'all understand, look, it's right before our face. F1, they call it Mother Nature or whatever, or Katrina or whatever. But when they get to F5, what do they call it?
Finger of God.
The what?
Hand of God.
The hand of God. See, y'all understand this. They know what it is. They know these smaller things could be caused by the devil, and they can stir up dust demons and different things. So when you read that Matthew 8:23, you'll see where they was in the boat and the storm got rough. Waves was run, it's thunder and lightning, and the Messiah is sleeping, boy, like it's the best sleep on earth. And they saying, we gonna perish, we gonna perish. And he just stood up, he like, oh, y'all, a little faith. Cut it out. And the storm cut, and the clouds moved away, and the sun came out. And they looking like, what manner of man is this that he even control storms? Cut it out. And the sun came out. And the disciples panicking. And you would worship a man that brags on how many chicken wings he could eat in one setting? Look, he can't control the shower wall. If it's too hot and hit him right in the smallest back, he take off. Go ahead, bro.
That's it on that.
That's it on that. Y'all read that Matthew 8, y'all understand that. Give me a little bit of this Job 1 so we can understand again that Satan has certain power not to tempt us with evil, but to test obedience by the disobedient champion. He's been known to break them all. He broke a third in heaven. And y'all think we down here playing around with some poop butts. Well, how we know the devil really exists? Does that matter? Because you having a problem with that, sooner or later you're going to blame it on somebody. And I guarantee you his name going to be D-E-V-I-L when you get through talking. When you get through locking up, you're going to come to the consensus that there's an adversary. And then you're going to be calling, man, is that you still with them group down there? Do they still pray for everybody? Yeah, you're going to need it.
Right.
When the adversary get through with you.
But if you don't believe, the prayer ain't going to do
Oh,
nothing.
boy, look here. Asking amiss.
Right.
You got to give it all up and say, I don't worship him no more. And notice the key, you say, worship him. You have to acknowledge, I've been playing by his rules. I got his books. And look, all these witch doctors got the devil's books. They got them. We know they got them. They got books of grimoires. They got the Kabbalah. They got the Talmud. They got them in their possession because we done seen them holding on to these books, covered up with blank pages, so you can't see what's the cover of it.
Right.
We don't need to see the cover because the truth should be the light. It should say Holy Bible. Not how we used to trick people when you had basic math and had algebra wrote on that bread bag.
Right.
Covering your book. You remember that, Jeremiah?
But you misspelled algebra.
Yeah.
And can't count.
ALGBRUH.
Yeah,
Algebra. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Let's get a little bit of this Job 1, y'all. We're going to close on out of here.
Job chapter 1, verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
See, that man was perfect. Meaning, don't mean he never sinned. What it means is he knew how to train his tongue. He knew if I slipped, I would straighten it out. See, and when we read, it said Job prayed for his children in case they might have sinned.
Right.
He didn't pray, that they are sinning. He said, just in case I want to send up a prayer, protect my children in case they might have sinned. So that clears the air. Anybody saying, see, Job's children were celebrating their birthday, so they got killed. That ain't never said that. He wouldn't have prayed for them at all. He'd have prayed that they stop the wickedness.
Right.
Not in case they might sin. Go ahead. Where we at, Zed?
And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh.
What'd he do?
And one that feared Yahweh. And eschewed evil.
And did what?
Eschewed evil.
He say, evil get thee behind me constantly. Go ahead.
And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 5,100 yoke of oxen.
Oh boy.
And 500 she-asses. And a very great household.
Yes, sir.
So that this man was the greatest of all men of the East.
So, richest man in the East. He was like Elon Musk of the time of the East, the richest man. Elon sitting on what, 97, 20, what is it, 72 billion? He just took over the record again of the richest man on earth. He controls AI and all of the satellites. He has a contract called Intersatellite or whatever his company is. He's got more satellites up than anybody. How does a civilian get to do this? Go ahead, bro.
It's a YouTube video, and there's a little special that popped up on in the little genre. It's 2 bodyguards on Elon Musk, right? And the people around him are just, they're not even tripping. They think these human beings. They robots.
They're robots, huh? Yes, sir.
They look just like me and you. You can't tell.
Look here, boy. The Chinese done already perfected them. They sell them. They can't keep them on the shelf. Sex robot dolls. Anybody you want it to look like. And it'll be shipped to you with a warranty. Because you're going to need a warranty. Go ahead, bro. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead. Boy, look here. Go ahead, bro.
Might need a safety switch.
Boy, look, I'm telling you. Them things take over and start commanding you, get out of your drawers. I can't go no more. Get out of your drawers or die. Boy, look here. They
Too much pressure.
They're going to turn on you. They're saying now they're going to turn on you. Go ahead, bro.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses. Everyone his day.
Everyone his what?
His day. And sent and called for their sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so. When the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continue.
He didn't say they sinned. He said it may be. Partying make all sin. You get a little liquor and you start telling lies. You be cutting loose. You know what it is when you get too full. If you ain't in control, you just start telling a bunch of naughty nuts. He said they may have sinned. So I'm going to sacrifice first fruits to the Most High to clear that behavior. He didn't say that if they were doing their birthdays, which they should not, and I prayed for them and I sacrificed bullocks because they were doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. It say in case they got out of control, I'm ahead of the game. Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 6.
Yeah.
Now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
Did we give Satan his power to go up to the heavens, to be amongst them?
No, he just went.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect man and upright man, one that feareth Yahweh and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
So he says, strip him of everything you done gave him. We're going to stop at verse 15. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in thy power.
Who just gave Satan power? Was that us down here at the Sears building?
No.
Who just gave him power?
The Lord.
The Lord said all that he hath is in your power. You can take everything he has physically. Go ahead, what else to say?
And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them.
Who fell upon them?
The Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yeah, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And only I escaped alone to tell them.
Now y'all continue to go on down and read the rest of what Satan had power. Now these the same Sabians in Joel 3:8 when they say, and you should sell their sons and their daughters to the Sabians. These were jack artists, y'all. And see, they took them in. They'll ride up. Next thing you know, it'll be a whole herd of them, and they take control. This is when we won't beat and kill and whoop nobody in the land. If they're out of control, you send them to the Sabians, and then they sell them off to another people like they did us. We were sent and ran into different lands, and those Africans and people of other nations sold us to the Europeans. So it's going to happen in the same manner. Your slaves will be like Eleazar to Abraham. You won't have nobody you got to worry about beating. How you going to go to the temple and be sitting in that word? Man, I just can't get my mind right on the study today, man. I left Hitler in charge of the children, and he better not have messed up, or I'm whooping his ass when I get back. What?
You need to go home.
You right. Hitler having his way. All of them got short mustaches on and goose stomping on goat shit in the house, and you need to go home.
You're going to come home, you ain't going to be running nothing.
So them same jack artists, y'all, we're talking about in Joel. This the people that you will put them bad people in the hands of. But you won't have that in the kingdom. Solomon didn't have them. It was an example. It was peace for 40 years with every nation on earth. They paid tributary. They came up once a year. The Queen of Sheba, what you got? Gold. Here you go. Thank you. What you got? Gold. Here. We bringing up a whole zoo. You ever seen a peacock? No, put them in there, set the zoo up. That's what they did, just like Zechariah 14. Same way, that was the example. Peace for 40 years. No wars, no even hint of war. It was the shadow of the kingdom to come. So where you seeing you're going to be whooping white people, chaining them up, hanging them and cutting their goods off in the kingdom? What kingdom? Whose kingdom? See, that's a doctrine of a demon. They're having you thinking evil, that God is going to punish them for our bad behavior. They didn't bring us here. They just further the affliction. Now, if you're saying further the affliction whooping, I'm only talking about further the affliction whooping, then we understand what you're talking about. But if you're talking about cutting off foots and hands about what we did in Jerusalem, you're sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. That ain't going to happen. We can hold there, y'all read the rest of it, but give me the last chapter of Job so we can see how he recovered. 42. The last chapter of Job, y'all, we're going to get on out of here. Tell you, we'll start about verse 7. And y'all, this is when he had to scream on Job's partners. And you read these same partners as descendants of Genesis 36 chapter. These are descendants of Esau. You know, Job's best partners, you know. And look, it's going to say some things in there about what they said. So this going to mean you got to read the book of Job a whole different way now. Go ahead. What it say, Zeb? Start about verse 7. Y'all read 1 through 7.
Job chapter 42, verse 7.
Yes, sir.
And it was so that after the Lord had spoken these words to Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temite.
Eliphaz the Temite, and Job is full of, Genesis 36 is full of the Temanite. Temanite, yeah. Go ahead. Y'all know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I said it wrong to begin with. Temanite.
Go ahead, yeah.
And wrath was kindled against thee and against thy two friends, For ye have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job had.
So he said, Eliphaz and your two partners, y'all ain't spoke to Job the right words. Y'all got my servant twisted up. Go ahead. What else to say?
Therefore take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up yourselves a burnt offering. And my servant Job shall pray for you. For him will I accept.
Who he gonna accept?
For him will I accept. Lest I deal with you after your father. And in that ye have spoken.
You have not.
In that ye have not spoken of me the thing which is right, like my servant Job. So Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite and Zophar the Naamathite went and did according as the Lord commanded them. And the Lord also accepted Job.
So go ahead.
And the Lord turned the captivity of Job. And when he prayed for his friends, also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
So y'all read the rest of that, but this is what I want to point out, that everywhere you're going to read in Job where it says, and Eliphaz the Temanite spoke. That's bad doctrine. You cannot use that for righteousness. You got to be careful that you don't do verse teaching and you grab Eliphaz the Temanite, what he just said. The Lord said, y'all spoke wrong. So no matter how they're answering Job, because it's in the Bible, it don't mean the Bible is bad. It's just telling you when you get bad doctrine. They're trying to explain to Job, no, you did something, player. You did something. It's the only reason you suffering like this God. They don't know me. They ain't got a clue. They wasn't there when Satan came and said, let me try him. They ain't got a clue. They're giving you bad advice. Now, that bad advice is worthy of death. Tell them you need to pray for them, and tell them get a bullock up here, or I'm going to put them all to death for that bad doctrine. So everywhere you see Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite, when you see whatever they wrote, you have to look at it like this is the bad doctrine he was talking about. If you do verse teaching, you'll quote one of their verses as something positive. It's almost like this. I'm saying this. Job is like 1 Samuel 8 when Samuel say, the Most High said, he like they want a king. He said, don't worry about that. They ain't at you. They at me. But when you get over to verse 11, it says, give them a king. But this going to be the manner of their king. They're going to run y'all like dogs. They're going to work your women over, these type of kings. Y'all want these manly kings? They're going to have your young men at the grind. They're going to have them on street corners, working them like dogs. Sound familiar like One West? They're going to call sack day and take all the money, have them out there on them oil table and come and take their money. Then they're going to make them captains of 50. Who say captains of 50? But see, they pick it up at verse 11. And then they say, see, we're going to make you a captain of 50. But they're not reading verse 1 down. It tells you this is from bad doctrine. You're being a do-boy. You're a captain do-boy. Boy, do this. Boy, do that. And we'll call you a captain of 50. You just get you 50 more do-boys. And y'all the do-boys of 50 captains. Now get out there on them street corners and sell that all.
That sounds like a game.
And then we come on sack day. How you going to go home with no money and been at work all day? Who you going to tell this is a righteous kingdom? Work. What you got, Two-Biden? I'm going to close one out here.
Ron, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Who are the Sabians? Sabians, I'm sorry.
You can look them up. They're offspring. They got some Iranian in them, and they got some, man, they just a rogue group, man. They some vagabonds. But if you look them up, the Sabians lineage, it'll show them because everybody's got a lineage. They'll go back to tell you who they are. But they're offshoot. They've been kicked out. They're almost like England kicked out all of its bad people. Everybody that came to America, that's when England opened their jails. Y'all have to understand, America was started by freed prisoners that they didn't want around no more. Murderers, killers, liars. That's what they let out of jail and put on them boats and sent over here to America. England got rid of their bad people, so to speak. So the Sabians is a group like that, a cast out villainous group. But you can Google them right now. The Sabians, who did the Sabians come from? And it'll pop right up. It'll show you their beginning because everybody has a beginning in the table of nations. That's why I say you can't chase endless genealogy. If they don't trace from Noah, Shem, Ham, or Japheth, They're a whole new body unless they're a new group that show up from sin. Like Lot, like the Moabites and the Ammonites showed up from sin that's not to be on earth. A man have his daughter or a mother have her son. So it switched the nations if they're an offspring. So now a new nation have to be born. Amorites and Moabites. It's from a father on his daughter. That offspring can never be into the fold until 10 generations pass. We got to get that out because that ain't never been allowed from Genesis to Revelation. Father on daughter or mother on son. That's demon doctrine. That's Pharaoh's doctrine. Osiris and his mama was sleeping around together. Wasn't they? That's in their doctrine. What you got back there? Too bad you looking, you rubbing your head, bro.
Brother in the chat was asking us, would the Most High Elohim heal his shoulders and his neck if he gets some frankincense and myrrh oil put on?
Well, I don't know. You can contact Levi Raphael or Imabo. I'm not sure how that worked, but you can do what I did. Go get you some salon patch and stick it on there. It'll relieve a little pain, you know what I'm saying? But it may be there tomorrow. It may take a little exercise. And what is the shoulder pain coming from? Sleeping sideways? You know, what's caused the pain? That's the first thing, so the pain don't repeat itself. You know, it could be cold air or however you doing, y'all. We have to just be careful. But if he says frankincense, hyssop makes you clean, you know, but it has to be according to the work. But we first have to touch the hem of his garment. We have to make sure we're following the right priest and what he say heals. So once you're on that priesthood right, then you're going to the right priest who was our physicians. And they'll tell us, okay, this is what you need to do to heal that problem. First, how did it start? Well, one hurt when I went to bed, okay? So it happened between you going to bed and this morning. What did you do? Was you in that bed by yourself? Yeah, okay. Well, we eliminated that part, so we're going to go right down this path. So, I was going to capitalize. Yeah, look at it. And then so we finally figure out, you just was too lazy and was reading a book and you end up just falling asleep and you slept on that book. So now your neck's sore, you know. But, bro, that's all we saying. If you're looking at instructions like that, man, make sure, you know, that whatever caused that issue is not beyond a herb. It could be a medical condition. It could be hereditary and then caught up with you now. You know what I'm saying? It could be a bunch of things. So you have to search out what it is. You have to do it because the doctor going to ask you, well, what happened? What caused it? If you say, I just don't know, they're going to say, here's a prescription then. It's going to get to it, but it may be a side effect somewhere. We'll fix that crook in your neck.
Come back in 2 weeks.
But then it'll be a giddy up in your step. You know, that's a side effect. So y'all, now who failed this test, we see Job pass the test at the end. But when y'all read John 13, all this is the Messiah speaking to Judas. Iscariot at the Last Supper, and the other disciples never knew that conversation was between Judas. This is how he moved. He never called anybody out. It's not a shame in doctrine. He just spoke to their spirit. He said, one of y'all a devil, and I just washed y'all feet. I gave y'all the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and one of y'all has blasphemed the Holy Spirit. There's no forgiveness for what you're doing. And they're like, is it me, Lord, to say, he who I dip in sop and give the sop to? Mm-hmm. And they still didn't recognize. He dipped it and gave it right to Judas, and they still, is it me, Lord? Is it me? They didn't even see because he's on the whole spiritual another plane. And then Judas even said, hypocrisy, lying. Is it me, Lord? He said, thou hast said. Mm-hmm. Go handle your business. And they didn't even know still what he had said. They thought he was finna go buy some more victuals for the Passover. Judas going to go get some more supplies. Mm-hmm. No, Judas going to tell the Romans and the Pharisees, them Judites, that I'm setting them up, y'all. The 30 pieces of silver is good. The chicken change.
They couldn't have knew. You think Peter cut off the ear of that Egyptian, that other cat?
Yes, sir.
He'd have never made it out that room.
Never would have made it out. Yeah, yeah, he would have, cause they'd
he wouldn't have never made it out that room.
So that's why he was giving them a chance to repent at that point, and he wouldn't, because he said, you know who it is, whoever did take the sop, whoever done sold me out, you know, and that's where the term kiss of death come from. Because when Judas showed up, he kissed him. He said, "Oh, kiss of death, huh? You tipping him off this him." See, because The Messiah looked just like all the other disciples. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So they didn't know who he was. They would like point him out to us. You know how they do snitches? Just point him out. And so it's be the one I'm going to kiss on the cheek. He's like, oh, betray me with a kiss. Oh, the old kiss of death, huh? Mm-hmm. That's how you doing it. That's how you going to play me. Okay, player. It'd been better that you had not been born. Because you have the Holy Spirit. You cast out demons. You did everything. And you betray me with the power? And it says Satan jumped inside himself. He told his demons, y'all get back. I want him myself. I'll take on him myself. And he asked for Peter the same way. The Messiah had to pay for Peter. He said, Pete, man, he on you, boy, like a harbor shark. I had to pray to the Father for you. He want to sift you like wheat. He want to do to you what he did to Judas. He said, let me have Peter. Just let me have him one time. Pete was in trouble, y'all, because Pete was a warrior, but more of the flesh than of the soul. He would have gave his life for the Messiah fleshly, but he didn't understand it spiritually. And that's what Satan wanted to sift him like wheat. But y'all, this is what we talking about. This is how our adversary come to devour you whole and get your name marked out of the book of life. Because it said Judas went immediately to perdition. That's on the other side of the third level of heaven. That's what a rich man, in torments, waiting on the lake of fire. You're tormented, waiting on the lake of fire. Can y'all imagine that? Ooh. So y'all read that John 13 all, and then Acts 5th chapter, Ananias and Sapphira. And you see again where they were lured into a bad doctrine and start money chasing after they received the Holy Spirit, because he asked them, how much you sell it for? We sold it for so much. He's like, you ain't lied to me, player. It ain't me. That's your property. I don't have no charge of it. But you have lied to God. How have Satan tempted you to lie to the Most High? Y'all got to die. Perdition you go. What you got, bro?
You said John 13 and whatever.
John 13, read that whole chapter. Go get into Judas after he received and got his feet washed. And then Acts 5th chapter. Ananias, his wife Sapphira. Y'all, this is a Holy Spirit thing. Satan is not coming until he recognizes the gift is on you. If I make you blaspheme that gift, you will live with me forever. I blaspheme my gift that y'all read about in Ezekiel 28. I need you to do yours, and we can be partners. We can be partners forever. Y'all have to understand this thing, y'all. He ain't coming to you. You already, if you just out here wild and you already, what do they call that? Just collateral damage? Mm-hmm. But if he gets you and you get the Holy Spirit and he gets you, you're a trophy now. Because everybody gonna be looking. And see, and the main thing is most people don't want to believe what their eyes are saying to them. They can't believe this individual fell off. So they start chasing the same lie. Because their trust in man is so great. I can't believe he fell off. Man, no. Can't be that. Can't be. Man, I put him up. Man, I put him for my mama. Start making terms like this. You trusting in a man like that? Because he fell off? No. That's what Satan wants you to do. Now you got two of y'all asses. For man worship. It's worse than COVID and the Black Plague. Man worship.
Give us a king spirit.
Give us a king spirit.
Tell me what you want me to do.
Want to be a captain of 50 of Du Bois.
Tell me what
so
you
y'all,
want
we're going to close
do.
on out. Y'all, we ain't got no questions or concerns. Y'all, once again.
Mike got something for you.
What you got, Mike?
That's like taking the mark of the beast.
That's the same thing. Mark of the beast, Revelation. I had that down. Revelation 13, Revelation 16. You will see again. Those are unpardonable sins to take the mark of the beast, because you're saying, God can't help me in this situation. I can't maneuver because the devil is telling me, if you want to play, you're going to have to join my team. And you join this team. And we had a test run with the COVID shot. You can't work here. You can't buy here unless you got the shot.
Right.
See, so the scare taxes have already started. But this one's gonna be a whole nother level when you go and it says declined. You know how some of these car machines, you like, shit, am I okay? They like, you good, that's the new sound. But this gonna be the sound permanently. I don't care what you pull up. You won't even be able to operate your phone, everything, and it's gonna be to a point to where it's no one number you can call.
If mess around, don't give you your card.
But look here, mark of the beast is on. If you want to continue, type this code in. To continue, you receive further instructions at this point. If you don't say, y'all, this is it, we here. And if we find out your work, because they're going to tell you, and you better not have no Bible beliefs when you come down here to sign up for the mark of the beast. And at that point, on your way down there, you driving, just be with me, Lord. Just take hold of my hand in that ink pen. No.
Take hold of my
You
hand
can't,
in that
boy,
ink pen.
look here. You can't ask amiss. How you going to ask to go pray, do something wicked and praying at the same time?
Help me sign.
Say, help me sign it the right way.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh, we close on that. We got any more questions or concerns? Anybody? What you got?
What's your name of the client?
Be not ignorant of Satan's devices. Y'all, we don't have to be ignorant because he's showing it to us every day. And y'all, we talked about that movie, The Devil Advocate, and y'all look at that movie, Ted, about that little teddy bear that they bring to life and says it now has a conscience. It can be recognized by the court as a person. This is a teddy bear with no genitals, and he get married on the steps. Y'all understand? And so next, if it's a teddy bear, next is going to be real bears. Because they're going to call him a person. A dog is man's best friend because a dog shows compassion. A dog lit Job's sores, so they'll be running those scriptures on you. See, his friends wouldn't help, but a dog licked his sores. Why can't King be his partner?
Wow.
It's coming, y'all, at a fast and reckless pace. Let's close on out of here, y'all. You got anything else? Once again, y'all, we had the Feast of Pentecost. We'll have the video up, if not today, tomorrow early. You know, just want to once again thank all of our committee members and family members who helped put that together, y'all. Because without it, y'all, we just can't get it done, y'all. Y'all have to understand what it takes and entails for members to come together and pull that off for a bunch of many members online as well as at that feast day, and to eat comfortably and in a timely manner with no trouble.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? To pull it off peacefully. Y'all, it's hard work, y'all. But we have to do it because we worked harder than this getting ready for Christmas and Halloween, didn't we?
Used to.
Hell, I used to iron my Easter clothes and put them on the bed, and I sleep on the floor because I didn't want to wrinkle them up. Oh, this is easy work. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more, y'all. No, we can't get no more.
That just shows you could just go.
Yeah, I can go, bro.
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And is in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. Yes. But we know him as Jesus the Christ.
Yes, sir.
Long live the King.
Long live!
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 30th chapter, it reads, I will extol thee, O Yahweh, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Yahweh, my Elohim, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Master, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Most High, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. Yes. For his anger endureth but a moment.
Yes, sir.
In his favor is life.
Yes, sir.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
Yes, sir.
And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Yahweh, by thy favor thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Yahweh, and unto the Most High I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit?
Sir.
Shall the dust praise thee?
No.
Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy upon me, Yahweh.
Yes.
Be thou my helper.
Yes.
Thou hast turned from me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee, and not be silent, O Yahweh, my Elohim. I will give thanks unto thee forever. Hallelujah!
If y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, worldwide audience, for y'all continued support. T. Montgomery, all y'all out there. Sister Nicole out there. Y'all know who y'all are. Thank y'all so much, worldwide audience and family here, for continued support of the ministry and the radio station. One love, fam.
Yes, sir.